Lounge, Lolo's Lounge, with best damn friends in the whole damn town.
Tangled cords are my life. Hi, Paulina. Hi, Paul. Open. Good day. Hi, Neil.
Rocking around the lounge, shutting the fascists down. Finding the facts so fast, we make the fun times last. And Lolo's Lounge, Lolo's Lounge, the best damn friends in the whole damn town.
It wasn't smooth and slick at all. Not smooth, not slick, not any of it. Good morning, my beautiful, beautiful friends. How the fuck are you?
Shutting the fascists down, finding the facts so fast, we make the fun times last. Lolo's Lounge, Lolo's Lounge.
That's okay. We'll deal with it. Anyway, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Lolo's Lounge. I'm Lolo. I am your host. That's pretty much all you get. That's it. I'm sorry about that. No. Welcome to the MANOSPHERE. We're gonna do all things, all that attention men want. Oh baby, we're gonna give it to them.
Finding the facts so fast.
Slug and coffee. It's Monday, isn't it? Oh Jesus. Hi Pepper. Pepper Saltina. I spent the weekend looking at how to do a radio station. All those crazy things. I don't know. What I want is something that is available on the internet because people are home. They're not always in their cars. Or listening to a radio, certainly an AM radio in their house. But I also want it to go out over AM waves. So I got to figure all that out. It's a good project. It's a great project for me. It's a great project for me. So I'm gonna work on that. A little wrinkly this morning. I had to pull something out of the dirty hamper. Does anyone do that? Can you please admit that you do that for me? Because I did indeed. I mean, it's not super dirty, like it's not smelly or anything. Not easily distracted, but it's definitely not like. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Hey, guess what we're going to do today? We're going to do something special, too. Hopefully, if I get my energy. But I got a little present from Bobo. And I'm going to build it on stream. Oh, the theme song's looping. Oh, thank you. God. Oomph, you're the best. You know that? Good morning, Oomph. Maybe it was on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. Thank you. Oomph. Jeez. Well, maybe that's how the pros do it. Yeah. Thought so for a few plays. And then you thought, I don't think she knows it's playing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know it's playing. Well, it was. Sure. Anyway. Thank you. Thank you very much for letting me know that. It doesn't play through my monitor. I don't know why. So silly. It doesn't play through my monitor, but that's my problem. I should have known. I turned it on, so I should know that it's on. But anyway, thanks. Thanks for that. Oh my God. Slugging coffee, man. Man, I am slugging coffee today. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I'm trying to think of what I did. I don't even remember the weekend. Good morning, Teresa. Do you even remember the weekend? Does anyone remember their weekend? Did people have a good weekend? I hope. What did I do? Let's see. I didn't do anything. I know I did something, but I can't remember what it was. It'll come to me in the middle of the show. Must have been some weekend, Lolo. Yeah. Surprisingly, it probably wasn't. I think, we went, okay, now I remember what we did because I had to cancel the show on Saturday. I did go to an event with Bobo for her work, and it was nice. It was fine. Very nice. And that was good. But other than that, I did nothing. I did nothing. I didn't get a whole lot accomplished, I don't think. I mean, I cleaned up the kitchen from Thanksgiving, but that doesn't really count. That's something you're supposed to do. That's not good job. you know, you made gnocchi from scratch. Oh my God, Neil, that sounds delicious. Do you have trouble rolling the gnocchi or anything? Do you have trouble with that? Or have you learned a technique? Because I know it came out okay. That's good. Picked up a sinus infection on Turkey Day. Oh, fuck that. No, Lee. Sorry. I'm sorry. We're not open for illnesses, you should say. You laid pretty low. It was one of those long weekends, I was watching the stuff in Georgia yesterday, in Tbilisi, and that was most of my stuff yesterday. I don't think I'm gonna watch some chuds and stuff like that, but I just kind of sat around and watched stuff online. I didn't really do anything productive. Hi, Carrie. How are you? How are you? How are you? Watch the movie. Okay, easily. This is so funny. So Bobo and I started to watch that movie Thanksgiving, and it was too much violence. Like, both of us love horror movies. She actually really enjoys the Saw franchise. I don't really enjoy it as much. And we both were like, I can't watch this because it was like violence around, I don't know, it was just really weird. I don't know. It was like violence for the sake of violence, but it wasn't even like, okay, easily, have you ever seen the Final Destination franchise movies? Final Destination 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have you ever seen any of those? Because they do the same kind of like very gratuitous death scene, and it's always very clever. But for some reason, the way they do it, it's still very graphic. But for some reason, it just kind of is purposeful, if that makes any sense. They say, oh no, I'm sorry, Jim. Your mother-in-law, gastrointestinal breakout at the nursing home. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I'm so sorry. So sorry. But in the Final Destination franchise, every action is entwined in the story. You know what I mean? So for some reason, I can definitely take a Final Destination type gore, but I couldn't take the Thanksgiving gore. And I mean, I thought it was clever, but I just didn't. It didn't really like. I don't know, that scene in the mall that's it. The black frame made you laugh. The dumpster kill. I could see it. No, I laughed too. But it was just like, oh, the actual stuff was too much for mine. I don't know why. But it was pretty funny. The movie. So I just didn't make it through the whole thing. I know. Jim, that's too bad. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. You've been through so much. And your mother-in-law has been through so much. God, just a really tough place to be. It's really terrible to feel a little bit powerless too about how to help, when someone's in that situation. So I'm sorry about that, Jim. I hope things open up soon and she's safe. I hope your mother-in-law is safe. So this morning, we have quite a few things, and as you can see from the cover art, I did a lot of thinking about men and MANOSPHERE and the angry inch, the angry inches that are here. So I spent some time on the weekend just thinking about those guys. I did do that. And so I did line up a few things for us. And then also, I don't think there's anything going on. Let me just check the live events. Let's see what's happening. What is that? International Criminal Court. What the hell? A plenary meeting at the a plenary meeting at the International Criminal Court. I'm late for a plenary meeting. Please, I must leave. Oh, there's part of the Talking Feds I wish they would clip stuff so I don't have to like watch things. Let's see here. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Just making sure we don't want to miss any. We don't want to miss a thing. Yeah. French National Assembly debate on contentious social security financing. That's right. World Court starts climate change advisory opinion hearings. Well, what do they have to do with anything? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. Let me look at my bookmarks. Love my bookmarks. The people who work there are saints. They do such a good job. That is so wonderful. I believe that is a very difficult job, and it typically doesn't pay well. And so you're not always, like it's just hard to get help. I think that will do those jobs, and that's really tough. And so when you find good people who work, like in my dad's assisted living place, there were pretty nice people that work there, and that really does make all the difference. It really does, because you at least feel like your loved one is being like taken care of. So, all right, we've got a lot of threads. I'm trying to think of what to read first. Oh, I might do this. This one is probably good. Oh yeah, I might do this one first. This is a Vice article that Gal shared. Let me go ahead. I'm actually going to smoke some weed first. I'm not going to start yet. I'm not going to start yet. Why rush? Are you guys doing Cyber Monday shopping? Did you find any good deals this weekend? Did anyone go to a Black Friday shopping experience? Does anybody have a tale to tell? It looked pretty dead from the video that I saw. Because apparently people voted because they don't have any disposable income. So I certainly hope that they, didn't buy a lot of stuff, because apparently they can't afford eggs. So you better not have been out there buying a fucking PS5 Furby edition. Okay? Because you've been complaining about your lack of disposable income now, and you actually voted in a guy who's going to take away all your disposable income. So there you go. I don't have sharp enough elbows. No shopping till next week. Be done in a day. Don't need to get a lot. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Paul. Nobody's mentioned the pardon. Well, I'll mention it. I'm glad he did it. I would have done it because I think he knows because he didn't, because nobody protected us from it. He knows the danger that his son is in when that guy comes to power, period. And if I'm a mom, I will do that. That's my child. That's my flesh and blood. I gave birth to that. I don't celebrate or participate in Christmas. I think that's wise. I don't see a reason to do it. I like just the trappings of it, and I just choose which trappings I want. Like, we watched one of our favorite Christmas movies last night. Bobo and I did. We watched one of our favorite Christmas movies called Krampus. So it kicked off the Christmas season. So my Black Friday happened when my eyes were closed for sleeping. That's my kind of Black Friday, when my eyes are closed. I hope Joe pardons all the journalists and all the Democrats for any trumped-up charges they may suffer. I agree. I don't think we're in normal times anymore. So frankly, and I think it was I would have been surprised if Joe Biden had not pardoned Hunter. Really. He needs to do that. You hate the music. I understand. It can get really, I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying this time of year, but not be for any real substantive reasons. Anyway. But I really think that I'm just really glad that he did it. Yeah, everyone's getting socks, underwear, belts, gift certificates for books. Yep, that's it. And those are actually really nice things. Okay? Those are really, really nice things. I would love to get a nice pair of socks. So, yeah, I think that's a nice thing. We don't really do gifts. I'm going to be honest with you. Between Bobo and I and my family, we don't really do gifts. It's just not a thing. I mean, we'll buy stuff for each other or for ourselves, and that's pretty much, we just don't do all the little open gifts and stuff. Nobody's a little kid anymore. We don't have any little kids in our family. It's supposed to old grumpy grown-ups. Bamboo socks are so good. Carrie, tell me about it. Oh my god, I love bamboo socks. I do. Oh my goodness. They are really good. So yeah. Bah humbug. Fuck Christmas. Oh, playpen for a future grandson. That is so wonderful. I love that. Oh, the babies. Oh, the babies. I need kids. Like, it would be fun to have, like, I'm not really sure I'm ready for a grandchild. First of all, Bobo's definitely not ready for a grandchild. So there's no grandchildren in my future right now. But eventually. But yeah, I'm like, I love kids. I think kids are fun. They're just so like creative and not burdened by a lot of bullshit. I also need some research on Jameson Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative. Okay, Jameson Greer, got it. Well, let's look that little fucker up right now just to get him on the radar. Jameson what? What was it? Jameson Greer. Oops, spelled his name wrong. Ugh, he looks like a nerd. Is a partner in the international trade team at King and Spalding. He's a lawyer. Jameson Greer is an American attorney. Is this the job that Peter Navarro held, Lee? Is that the job that Peter Navarro held? Oh, I cannot read that. The Vandenberg Coalition. What the fuck is this? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? All right, I need my glasses. Shit. Oh, here. Where was the White House? Oh, okay. Lights ear. Okay. All right. Thanks, Lee. I figured Peter didn't have an important job, but he did have a job. Okay. Oh, God, these are so dirty. Why are my glasses so dirty? All right, Jameson Greer looks like a big fucking Nazi. Sorry, Jameson. That's just I call him as I see him these days, Jameson. My son that had the brain bleed last year is future daddy. Oh, easily. Oh my goodness gracious. What a beautiful chapter in that story. I mean, really. Let's read about Jameson. Oh yeah, let me move that. See it. How about that? Haberdashery. Haberdashery. What do you think of them apples? What do you think of them apples? Okay, here we go. Jameson Greer is a partner in the international trade team at King and Spalding. His practice covers trade remedy litigation, trade policy, WTO, World Trade Organization, dispute settlement, export controls, economic sanctions, whatevers, anti-corruption, customs and import, private equity, and debt financing. He has represented clients in trade remedy litigation before the Department of Commerce. Oh, I missed the BRICS comment. 100% tariffs if they move away from the dollar. Okay, so wait, Lee, I want to talk about this because I did miss it. Wait, where is it? Where is your comment? Shit, where are you? I can't see it. Oh, you know what? I'm on top chat. God damn it. I'm like, where's that thing? And it's like top chat. Stupid. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so wait, I need to understand this. Okay, so yesterday, and I'll find it now that I've said it. Wait, I want to try and find it. Hold on. Because I thought that Truth Social, he made a post about BRICS destroying the dollar yesterday and said, don't you dare. And I'm like, sir, that's your people? Excuse me, sir? That's your team? Here we go. Wow, Luigi. All right, this is Truth Social. Like it or don't. Oops. Oh, shit. And this is Mr. Don. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages? What? 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 Where is it? Where is it? My God, he. Oh my God, why is this so. Now it's too big. God. Okay, hold on. Jesus Christ. Every now and then the lion has to show the jackals who he is. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, okay, wait. Charles Kushner to serve as the U.S. ambassador to France. Oh, here we go. I don't get this. He's gonna I know. Really, Paulina, he's gonna pardon him. It doesn't matter. If he can think of it. If he remembers to. Literally. He's gonna pardon the J6ers if he remembers to. Okay? That's it. Such an ass. I need him to rapture. I need him to be taken away by whatever earthly or unearthly forces exist. That's it. 100%. Okay, here we go. So he said this yesterday. Or 2 days ago. The idea that BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. We require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy, which it will not be wonderful at that point. They can go find another sucker. There is no chance that the BRICS will replace the US dollar in, okay, never mind. In international trade, and any country that tries should wave goodbye to America. Does he understand that this is his FYI DEA hearing on rescheduling weed? Oh, really? Yes. Does he understand that?
I can look it up. I don't know off the top of my head,
Excellent.
but I believe
You're
so.
fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, let's do
I
it.
was thinking of starting my.
I didn't even have these
starting
guys
the
on my
trial,
list.
Depending on what everyone tells me, that week, the week of the 13th
Thank
and
you,
17th, I
Oomph.
was thinking of starting on the 14th. I'm
We
not
got
here to
lots
torture
today,
people.
so
I mean,
hang in there.
If it looks like it's not going to work, we'll sort it out. The APA requires that the hearing has to be set with due regard to the convenience of the parties and their witnesses and their representatives, excuse me. So if I can count on you to give me your witness the second week, I can certainly accommodate that. Does that work for you?
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. And I think that's it for me. Do you have anything for me?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Schwartz.
Thank you.
As always. All right.
He's such a nice judge.
Next one up on my hit parade is the consolidated parties of the Office of Cannabis Ombudsman, State of Connecticut, and Ellen Brown, and that is you, Mr. Zorn. Welcome.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can I have your appearance?
Matthew Zorn for the Connecticut Office of Cannabis Ombudsman, Ellen Brown, and then I'll note in my submission, although I suspect Your Honor is going to address that, I also have consolidated the doc app as well in the pre-hearing
Oh,
statement.
did I leave it out? I didn't mean to. I wasn't being clever. The doc app as well.
And Your Honor, if I would have permission to just use the term patient parties, because I think it'll just be easier to use.
Yes, but it would make a mess of my record later.
Okay.
Because people will be telling me, I'm a patient party, aren't I a patient? And look, the judge could be more patient. He's not that patient either. So what I'd ask you to do is, if you could just call it OCO Brown in the doc app. I know who you are, but I want, if let's say, this shouldn't be because you're consolidated, but let's say that you do have some sort of an issue about whose objection you want to lodge it on behalf of. If you could say that and say, like, on behalf of all parties, let me know. I can hear you. I know what you're doing, but the record often isn't
Hi,
so
gal.
patient. So let's do
Oh,
this.
I'm not high.
It
I'm Buds,
notices,
man.
3 witnesses.
Oh, is it
Thank
really
you
a
always for
penny?
your thoughtful
Oh my God, the
papers
ruble.
that you submit, Mr.
How
Zorn.
many in that
By
courtroom
the
are
way,
high? Well, the guy, the
You've got 3 witnesses
hippie
up,
at the stand. Hi, Badger.
and you've got your availability. I've got some
Making
issues about the
marijuana,
witnesses. I'm gonna tell 'em
rescheduling
to you.
marijuana
The
so it's
limit is
not
gonna
the
be 2
same level of
witnesses. You can have
crime as it
120 minutes.
is now.
All right, I'll let you pick, but
How
I'll
to
tell you what
decriminalization,
occurred to me as
basically.
I was reading your papers.
Didn't say
Right.
that right, but you know what I meant.
Let's start with
Oh, I love
Mr.
this.
Goyle.
I love this. I love
That
this.
he's from Doc App, and the way that it's noticed,
Oh,
it
I
seems
hope the
like it's
kiddos are
anecdotal evidence,
excited.
and I can't find the relevance as to how it relates to moving marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And since I'd already had motion practice about it, I'd be lying if I said I was motivated to find the relevance. I didn't really want to be telling you no again. But it seems to me that it's anecdotal. It's his opinion. It seems like it has to do with his proprietary software. And his proprietary software is going to work at 1 and 3, even as I've read it. And I went back and I read every paper about him, because my inclination is not to say no. But help me out with this. Like, where do you see his relevance to that narrow issue that I've got? And remember, everybody, this is not a trial about whether marijuana is good or marijuana is bad, because I don't know whether it's good or it's bad. My issues
No, I can
are
assure you,
much
Judge,
more
it's
narrow
good.
than that. Has to do with addiction potential and several other little pigeonholes that I have. So to the extent that I've ever had an opinion, which it hasn't really entered much into my life, it doesn't matter. But tell me, where do you see his relevance? What's your best argument for his relevance, Mr. Zorn?
Thank you, Your Honor. And let me take a step back. I will answer your question directly, but I think it's my view of the case is this is actually a fairly simple hearing. I've read all the submissions, and I think a lot of people are addressing collateral issues.
Get to it.
A lot of people are addressing collateral issues. It's very simple. Is there an accepted medical use? And if so, is the potential for abuse equal to fentanyl, or is it less than fentanyl? That's my position in the case, is that this isn't like an opiate. This belongs in a schedule lower than that. And the reason I start there is because that ties into the relevance of this witness, actually both prongs, which is Mr. Garrelay he has a software program that he uses in the state of Florida, which collects data from patients. And one of the observations he's going to make is that patients use the software, they match strains of marijuana to come off of opiates, and sometimes even drop out of the medical marijuana program entirely because they use that to wean off of opiates. And I think that is powerful probative evidence towards at least the second point, that this is not on par with fentanyl, heroin, all of these opiates that everyone in the country is addicted to. So he can attest to that using his software and using data. And I understand Your Honor's point about anecdotal evidence, but his software and the data that he's collecting, I believe, would be very instructive for Your Honor to see that there are efforts, and it's not just him, but there are efforts of entrepreneurs out there to put this together, and have in fact put this together, and that medical programs use this type of data. As far as accepted medical use, I understand that there's a dispute amongst all the parties as to what that means. I understand there's a dispute even within the government as to what that means. But my position, and what Mr. Garrelay will also show, is that people are in fact using this medically, and we have data to show that.
Let me jump in here.
Yes.
First off, the only thing that enters into what we decide here, just to prepare everybody, is what I've got in the record.
Agreed,
What I've
Max.
got in the record is Mr. Schwartz, who I have a lot of confidence in, has told me that he is the proponent of the rule. That they want the rule, they've asked for the rule, and for
Sorry.
me, that's I can't
thought he was
see
a
that
low
he would
talker.
be any way that there's to put him in as an expert witness on any of it. Look, his software might be great, but as I explained at some length, because of the thoughtfulness, I think, of your brief, he's not an expert on what's addictive. He might have some statistics, but it seems like that's a place, then, from at least the way it's noticed, that's better suited for the notice and comment section. I think, and it would be hard to argue with the fact that his software isn't ingenious in a lot of ways if it does the things that he says. But
Badger.
the rest of it's going to be his opinion, and I can't admit him as an expert, and I can't consider his opinion, and what he thinks about his software isn't going to move the needle. And if it's not going to move the needle, then I'd have to ask myself, where am I going to put it into a decision? Because look, I've heard you. I'm just going to tell you that just because I don't knock anybody out here, if somebody's not given me relevant evidence, what's going to happen is you might have wasted your shot on a witness who I'm not going to take any of his testimony. So a lot of that's going to be a tactical decision on your part, but I'm not seeing it. It's a fairly narrow issue. And his software, even if you believe it, he's a big proponent of letting patients decide what marijuana they have. That's a place for Congress. That's a place for the states. The structure is that the doctor writes a prescription, and there are requirements and the regulations for the prescription. His software seems to conveniently cut out the physician out of the process. So I can't imagine what he would tell me. That it's not even whether I agree with it or disagree with it. I can't use it. So I'm telling you what my concern is, so you can factor that into your decisions. I guess my concern with your witness, Mr. Preston, it seems like the opinion of a non-expert, and I don't know where it fits in. And same thing with Center, the pharmacist. The pharmacist clearly has an expertise that's relevant here on several levels, but he's not noticed as an expert, and I don't know where his expertise would come in the way it's noticed in terms of addiction. Look, I know that pharmacists have a high level of expertise and a high level of education. I regulate pharmacists. But I guess my concern for you is that he has a lot of opinions about things that would seem, from what I've read, to be leaning a little bit too far over the skis.
Oh,
And
he's
as
too
far
much
as
into the
as-
ganja.
Oh, the patient testimonial witnesses? Yeah, we're not going to be doing those. Everybody had a chance to comment. That's part one of the APA. They did their notice and comments. So there's none of them coming in. You had a couple of motions, I guess, at the end of your paper. One of them is that you would ask that the hearing be conducted on the record. Okay. Now,
Sorry,
I'm
Your
going to
Honor,
try not to be offended by that, but just so that everyone knows, everything in this hearing is going to be conducted on the record. Because if you think about what the corollary is, it's, Judge, please don't have a secret meeting with some of the witnesses. You see how that's a little uncomfortable? There will be no secret meetings. Everything will be on the record. If there's an off-the-record
Oh,
conference
good.
dealing
So the
with
lawyer
logistics,
pissed off the judge
it'll be on the
to start.
record
Okay,
as soon as we
that's
open
great.
up again.
Good
Your
job.
Honor, and
Good
just
job, guy.
so Your Honor has some context, I was involved in another formal rulemaking along these lines a couple years ago, and all the hearings weren't on the record, and there was one very important hearing that wasn't on the record.
The
And
reported case?
it has to do with the 5 tryptamines in Judge Walbaum, and there was something very concerning that was said off the record. So I just want
Oh,
you to
well,
understand what
let
that
me
was.
put your concerns at ease. I have been doing this too long to be escorted out of the building. Everything will be on the record. Also, you had made a discovery request. I've got no authority for discovery. You have other tools at your disposal. You had said that you were asking for a certain discovery at the end of your paper.
Uh,
And let me just
I'm
get
not
it for
sure.
you.
I think I have concerns about the government being the proponent of the rule. Even just hearing today, where Your Honor asked if they supported the rule, and their response was they're the proponent of the rule. Proponent just means that they're proposing the rule. Does not mean that they're supporting the rule. And I thought that question and answer was a little bit concerning for me. And I share the concerns of some of the designated parties here. I still don't know if the government is supporting the rule. And I think that their submission where they disclosed no exhibit, every party here managed to put together all their exhibits. The government is apparently still compiling the exhibits. They have more attorneys here than any other party. And I just think that they're sandbagging us. And I hate to put that on the
All right.
record, but
If you hate to put something on the record, Mr. Zorn, then don't. The government is the proponent of the rule. The government also is representing the Drug Enforcement Administration. Now, there's going to be a recommended decision. The head of the agency, whoever that is at the time, is going to be reading carefully all the things that are put in front of that person, and then going to make a decision based on several concerns. One of them is public safety. So it bothers me not at all that the head of the agency that's making such an important decision wants to read it all first. Otherwise, we are all wasting our time. Now, the government has said it's the proponent. How they put in their case is up to them, and there's certainly enough people in favor of it that are going to be here and put on a case too. But I've read that in a lot of your papers. Not your, I mean, a lot of yours, the sort of the big we. But I haven't seen a single witness from the government. I haven't seen anything from them. Let's say the government decides in the middle of it that they don't like this as a rule based on public safety, and they do that based on what we do here. That doesn't bother me a bit. That's part of the APA. Half the people in the room are not entitled to have the administrator be a cheerleader. Okay, what they're entitled to expect and what the American public can expect is that I do my very best to get to make a decision that's consistent with the evidence.
The government
whether
will
people
do
like
it when
or
it's
they don't.
ready.
But as far as this business with who's a proponent and who's not a proponent, you're at the podium, so I'm sorry to give it all to you, but I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's not part of what I have to do, and I've got a lot to cover.
Your Honor, I understand your concerns. My concern, I want everyone to put on their cases. My concern, namely here, and I think you referred to the discovery quest, is it's about notice. It's about fair notice. It's what case are you even putting on? And I know everyone's case from the podium on back. I don't even know their case because they did not put exhibits in their pretrial hearing as Your Honor instructed, and they just said that they're still compiling them. And they clearly
That
have,
seems like a
the government
specific
clearly has some
concern.
exhibits it's contemplating, because when you read above the footnote of where they say, we're going to disclose this in the future as Your Honor provides, they talk about those exhibits in the proposed testimony. So they clearly have them in a file somewhere. They just didn't put it in their filing. So the only proposed discovery, I'm not interested in disqualifying parties. I'm not interested in anything. I simply want to know the government's position as far as what exhibits does it intend to present as of today. It clearly has some of them in mind. It didn't put it in its pre-hearing statement. Everyone else put their exhibits in their pre-hearing statement. That's my concern. And so I use that particular word. But again, Your Honor, I just find it disappointing. I can't fathom why everyone else here managed to put a list of exhibits and the government said, we're still compiling our exhibits.
Let me put this to rest.
Yeah.
This might be somewhat helpful. Government, get your exhibit list in by the homework date. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think that's certainly valid, Mr. Zorn. But I can only deal with what I have here. I'll judge their case as it comes in. I'll make a recommended decision, and then we'll move on beyond that. But you said you weren't trying to disqualify anybody. The person who made that motion, that was a very thoughtful motion. I spent a lot of time with that. to look at what the tools were and what the evidence were that I had. And I think I gave everybody at least a transparent document, agree with me or not, or disagree with me. Now, Mr. Zorn, sorry you were first one up, and I do appreciate all your work. Anything else for me?
I do, if just for the record, to
I think
address
it's
some of the points.
changing,
As far as
Neil,
Mr.
it's trying
Garrelay
to
and his software is
change
concerned,
the,
I just want to note that the notice and comment process, you can't submit software.
it's trying
So
to change
I think the purpose of these hearings
the
in part is to
penalties,
receive factual
penalties
evidence of
associated
formal
with
rulemaking
marijuana.
that can't be submitted through the notice and comment. And it's not simply limited to expert opinion. This is precisely designed to receive data and evidence that isn't susceptible to being submitted under
This
the
is a
APA's
hearing by the
normal
DEA
procedure. And so I
on
would submit to
rescheduling
Your Honor that it
marijuana.
would be error to exclude that on grounds that it could have been submitted in the notice and comment, or that it's not expert opinion. I think if there's foundation for factual testimony, it should be able to come in these rulemaking proceedings. In fact, that is the very purpose of a formal rulemaking proceeding. And again, Mr. Ascenter,
Because
I
he
believe,
doesn't
is
smoke
a qualified
enough
expert. He has a
weed.
degree in cannabis science. He
What
has
was-
in federal court under Daubert, he would easily qualify as an expert. It's
that's why.
possible that certain opinions might not be under that expertise, and we can take that as they come. But I think that, and I did put in the submission, I think he said he is going to be offering expert testimony. So I do intend to qualify him as an expert.
Sounds fine.
Okay.
I would remember, all I'm telling you all is the things that occur to me
Edibles
as I'm looking at it.
yeah.
This is kind of fair notice for
The
everybody.
afternoon's going to be lit.
Yes, Your Honor. As far as I think you said, the
Free
government gets in
Floyd.
their exhibits by the homework date. I don't know if
The list of exhibits.
Yes, I don't know if Your Honor is going to have a supplemental pre-hearing statements.
No.
Okay. So will the parties, all of the parties, not just my side, but the other side, have a chance to respond to the government's?
No, you
Okay.
come to court. You
Okay.
want to cross-examine someone? Come to court.
Okay.
You know, everyone will have their 20 minutes of fame to cross-examine the people on the other side.
The
Okay,
final
I'm
point, Your
gonna
Honor,
need
is
the
as
judge
I've
to
noticed,
take a beat,
Your
okay?
Honor, and
Take a
all the parties
beat.
here, there are two
Calm
judicial
down.
proceedings
Maybe
that
go
I'm aware
poop.
of that
I don't know.
bear on the issues here. I'm happy to talk about them, but I also don't want to take up everyone's time if Your Honor's not interested.
Well, why don't you talk about them when we do the merits? But I don't want to cut you off. Like I said, you put a lot of work into everything, Mr. Zorn. So I guess this isn't the time to argue on it. But if there's something you want to bring to my attention, it was you're talking about two cases, or?
Yeah, there was a petition for review proceeding that was initiated last Wednesday in the United States Court of Appeals for the DC Circuit.
Got it. I'm aware of it.
And I am not. I'm obviously it's an attorney for my firm, but we may seek a stay in these proceedings in light of the administrator's 25-person list. Nobody really knows how that list was compiled. I could talk about the facts of how the decisions first went out on the day before Thanksgiving, informing parties that they weren't attending as if they didn't already know. But I think one of the, I think for Your Honor, is that it's possible that we seek a stay. I'm supposed to, I think we need to move here first for a stay. We'll do that in the papers if we need to, but
You can, but understand this. If you're moving for a stay for here, just so that everybody knows, if I get a stay that's motivated by Axon, which is a challenge to the structure, I'm generally pretty agreeable because I think everyone has the right to that. But then I think the Supreme Court said, but sort of didn't say in Jarkissi that was the harm.
Why is his neck
being
so
through-
low
pulled through, excuse
from
me, an
his
axon.
shoulders?
That was the harm. But remember that
Oh, that's his
you're going to
chair.
be delaying these proceedings.
I thought those were his
till
shoulders.
God only knows when. Now, I've got ways to occupy my time, I'm sure. But understand that when you go back to your seat after you get your stay,
Hey, Mulroney, you're
marijuana
giving
just
Irish a bad name.
stops.
Can you shut the fuck
for as
up?
long as
You
as
calm
the
down,
district
you
court in the
shite.
one case the Court of Appeals takes. So I would leave that up to you. I think, I don't know what you get later. So you might want to give that some thought. The other thing is regarding Axon, this is not an enforcement proceeding, remember? Everybody's here because they clawed their way in. Fortunately for me, I have a limited
Welcome
amount of
to
things
America.
to decide, and one of them is not what the administrator does. The administrator is busy enough. So any challenge to that, you'd think that if it was your clients, I know you said it was someone from your firm, that standing might be little bit of an issue since you did get to be here. But I will follow the direction
Ooh,
of
Hot
the federal
Springs.
courts,
Yes,
whether it's the Court of Appeals or
girl,
the District
go
Court.
girl.
I'll follow it to a letter. And anybody
That
that wants to
sounds so
submit a
great.
request for a stay, I will give it careful consideration and I will give
Yeah,
it a
I
written
know.
decision.
Maybe all Mulrooney's
Your
give
Honor,
the
and
Irish a
just
bad
to
name.
preview the issue and why
Who
it's kind
clawed
of
their
like a
way into a
quasi-Axon
proper
challenge in
courtroom
the sense of, I think one of the arguments in that proceeding is going to
through
be that
due
the administrator
process.
and the agency actually doesn't even have authority, and that Your Honor does, but that the NPRM itself, the Attorney General order, cabins and prescribes the exact authority that the administrator was to exercise in this case. And it was determine if there's a hearing, notice that hearing, and that in between there's a step that wasn't actually delegated to the administrator, and understanding
Gosh,
that the
that's
administrator
terrible.
has a general delegation, but that the specific delegation
Sorry,
in the
Jim and
NPRM
butterflies.
supersedes that. And the reason that's also important is DOJ is the proponent of the rule in the Attorney General order. And I believe that Your Honor's recommendation should go to the Attorney General and not to the DA administrator. And I think that's a legal issue that has import that bears on the proceeding, similar to an Axon type challenge. It's not simply a tiny issue. And so I just want to forecast that to Your Honor, because I'm not in the business of surprises.
I appreciate the heads up. And I understand that's what you're giving me. But understand this, that all of the Attorney General's authority was delegated to the DEA administrator by regulation, and it didn't hold any back. So all of the authority that was vested in the statute to the Attorney General, and I know you're not here to argue, you're just giving me a heads up, and I'm grateful for it. But I will tell you this, that I guess what I would
will tell you
remind you
this:
of,
don't bother.
if I'm directed by the courts to stop, or if a stay is issued, everybody goes home until the court decides that it would consider that. And I know you've practiced in federal court. It would be how motivated the district court judge is, or the Court of Appeals, is to take that case. And again, I don't know how long my lifespan is, but I appreciate the heads up, though. I know that's what you're giving
Yeah,
us. Mr.
I'm obviously, there could be disagreement, but I just wanted to give Your Honor notice. And then the other case, I initiated an action in my own name, Freedom of Information Act case. I filed for a preliminary injunction on Sunday. As soon as I get a summons, I will serve the agency. And it is Freedom of Information Act related to the ex parte communications that I think everyone in this room can admit existed in some small form. Who knows the scope of that?
Well, wait, before I said in the order that nobody said it didn't, I didn't really make a finding. I just said that no one said it didn't make one. I think I was pretty clear in the order, but that wasn't a finding that anybody talked to anybody.
Oh, wow. That's amazing,
and I don't mean
Jim.
to
We've come
to
some way
dance
with
around
that.
it. But if you look, I'm not a juggernaut. If the district court or the Court of Appeals tells me to do
Oh,
something,
butterflies.
that's what I'm going to do. But
Oh,
ask
my
yourself,
uncle's
is
house
that
was a
really
rest
what you
stop
want
for
to
the
do?
mailman to come and have
It's
a
like,
shot of
even if
whiskey.
you
Oh.
were to assume that every diabolical thought you had ever had about whatever the ex parte communication is, if there is one, let's say that you assumed that it was all true, that people all had notice of what it was. It's doubtful it would interfere with anything. And if people were going to be bad people, would they write it down in a memo so that everyone could read it? I mean, what do you, I guess my question would be, do what's best for your client, but what are you
Your
chasing?
Honor. Yeah,
Are
they
you
would.
chasing a note that somebody wrote?
Over
I had
and
an
over.
improper
It's
conversation
crazy,
with
but
somebody else,
true.
and I wanted to put it in the memo in case someone
Welcome.
wants to indict me.
Welcome to the
so I guess
insurgency.
there's always, as
There's
thoughtful as
always a
your
document.
submissions are,
There's
there's
always a
a
PDF.
pragmatic part to what you're doing, Mr. Zorn. And I would just tell
Always.
you, I'm grateful for the heads up, and I'm grateful
But I'm
for
going to
the
tell you
notice
no
you're giving me.
anyway.
But I think before you proceed, it's probably worth giving it a thought. Like what's going to end up?
Okay.
And the next time you might not get a handsome guy like me sitting up here. You just don't know.
No, I appreciate your
No.
I appreciate Your Honor's
No.
counsel. I think in that is simply we don't know what the scope of those communications are, and I think it's important to understand. I think that if you look at the rule very carefully, you look at the evidence that was submitted very carefully, it suggests that the ex parte communications could go beyond what was disclosed, or maybe not. Who knows? I think that's the purpose of that. That proceeding. I will not be asking that the district court for any relief whatsoever that should impact this. My only point is if those communications do come out in that proceeding, and it is sort of revealed that the government or that they should have filed a memo, as Your Honor put in the APA for
It's a
expert.
trickier position
Yes.
when that was triggered. And I specifically didn't make a finding on that. I think there's an argument in either way, and I thought that case would be decided without reaching that issue. But it's not that it was a frivolous argument on the part of the proponents of that argument. I didn't treat it as such. They had a position as to where the reporting time started. I thought it was narrow, but I didn't need to reach it. But that doesn't mean that it
I have
wasn't.
got to grow
It
my own
wasn't
pot. I've got to
a
figure that
worthwhile
out.
issue on their
You
part.
emailed me,
So it
Val?
was.
Thank you,
I
sweetheart.
don't think any of the papers on either side, and before when I didn't mean, I've attached the submission to disqualify in support of my allegation. So I think that was a good filing too. And I think the government filed a good opposition, but obviously that's a legal dispute. And again, if it comes out that it turns out that the government really should have put in a memorandum or should have complied with the APA in a way that it hasn't submitted to date, that's the only thing that I would just want to give notice to Your Honor again of Your Honor has made findings, the government has taken a position. If it comes out that position it turns out to be wrong, then we will have another can of worms but we can unpack it then.
We can, but you were giving me notice, Mr. Zorn, and I'm grateful. Thank you very much. I appreciate the work you put into
I
these
get
things.
it. Okay, goodbye.
Thanks.
Poor Mr. Zorn.
Hemp for victory. All right. Hemp for victory. Mr. Klein and Mr. Callan, who's lead counsel? I just need one of you.
That's a very good question, Judge. I guess I drew the short straw since I was here
Hey,
first.
Tom.
Okay, if you could give me
Aw.
appearances for both of you then, please.
Okay, Abdul Kalan
Yeah,
and Andrew
right?
Klein
Me.
for
Yeah,
Hemp for
it's a
Victory.
good point.
Good
I don't
morning,
know,
Your
I'm
Honor.
pretty
Good morning.
bad. I really have
We've
tried.
heard you loud and clear. We will be available the week of the 13th, although our proposed witness is not available until after the 17th. So as long as someone else will step up to the plate,
Whoa, is it dipping
week,
down
assuming the
from
DEA's witness is not available,
Canada?
we can make that week work,
Did
Your Honor.
Canada send us bad
Can we
weather
go then?
again?
Tell me again. It always scares me when someone's heard me loud and clear that I might not remember what I said.
I think you said you were looking for mid-January, January the 13th
I was
week.
looking to start then, if within reason. I'm not looking to hurt anybody. but
We
yeah.
can make that work. Our witness is not available until after the 17th, I believe.
Okay. Your witness is not available until after the 17th. We can certainly work around that. Let me just take a note. All right. By the way, what I'll be doing is I'll be giving pre-hearing ruling afterwards, setting the approximate dates for everybody. My default setting is that everybody
not
gets to put on their
Tom.
case. We've gone to an awful lot of trouble for people to be denied on their case based on a small matter. And I'm just looking to see here. Your position is you're not particularly looking for district court intervention now, but you reserve your rights to do so.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't want to disappoint you since Mr. Zorn and I are up here for so long, but I think that's all I have for you. I thank you for the care you put into your papers.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, the Commonwealth Project, I believe, is next. And represented by Sphere. Hello, Ms. Fair.
That's true. You're
Morning,
right.
Your Honor.
Okay,
Good
so
morning.
we
Appearance,
don't need to
please.
stay with it.
Kelly
But
Fair.
this is something that we should follow. I would like to follow this case. So I appreciate the heads up that this case is happening, because then we can definitely take a look. But thanks for the heads up that it's probably just all scheduling at this point, which makes sense. But I'm delighted because I wasn't subscribed to the Drug Enforcement Administration, and I really try to get as many agencies their YouTube channel subscriptions as possible. So I appreciate the heads up very much. Let's see. This is one I wanted to start with, and it'll go into the whole manosphere thing. But also, actually, let me begin, I think. I want to read this first, I think, actually. Pull this over here. Boop, 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 boop. All right. We good? We good? Yeah, we're good. Somewhat dated background. Oh, thank you, though. Thanks for that. The Canada Business Times link. Or Cannabis. Canada. Cannabis. I think I'm already a little high. It's 26 degrees, -3 Celsius in Montreal now. Oh, man. It's so much colder with the wind. I'm waiting for it to warm up to 40-ish, Tom. Oh, that's true. My sister-in-law was in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was in the 90s. Oh, my God. -4, Badger says. Oh, my God. You guys are all crazy. I don't even know what it is, but it's not any of that. I'll tell you that. Let me see. Let me see if I can tell what the fucking temperature is. Hold on. What's the temperature in here? 55 degrees. It's a balmy 55 degrees. -7 with the wind chill. T-shirt weather. Max 27. That's cold, you guys. Holy moly. I hope you have oil in your tank. Or whatever you use to warm yourselves. But I always remember my oil bills when I lived in the Northeast. High of 67 here. That's frigid. That's right. That is cold, actually. I love winter in Florida, though. Winter in Florida is so beautiful. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I hope the oranges don't freeze. 66 where I am. Sunrise was 52. That's a beaut. I love cold days, though, or cold winter mornings in Florida. I loved that. I used to love that. You could actually put a sweater on. And, you'd still could wear shorts, but you could put a sweater on and go get coffee. Oh my God, I loved it. After a deep freeze, this will feel balmy. Yeah, exactly. 85. Oh, ooh la la. Warm, warm, warm. Sweater weather. That's right. It's sweater weather. I love my sweater weather. Oh my gosh. Oh no, GP's not here. But I have a new sound. I think I have a wait, do I have a new picture? I don't think I do. I think I just have the theme songs that I was showing to everybody. So all right. I want to read this article that Gal shared first, and then I've got other stuff that you won't want to miss. I miss the seasons. Yeah, I do too a little bit. I don't know. I'm really thinking about where I want to end up because I don't know if I'm going to stay in Los Angeles because Bobo, has her own life and she is between places when it comes to her job. So I just feel like I should probably let her live on her own. Probably let her be her own kid eventually. But I don't know where in the country I really want to go. So if anybody has ideas about where I should retire, I guess is what you're going to call it, let me know because I don't know where I'm going to. I can't. I think I'm thinking about 5 different places and they're like all over the place. So I just don't know. I got to figure out where I want to live. I remember when the DEA had a program in Florida where they ground up the orange rinds and added them to the cattle feed to change the pH of their poop to keep mushrooms from growing in it. What? What? Stay in LA? Interesting. Just stay where you are. I'm seriously considering getting property in Kentucky and living there part-time. I've thought about like Tennessee or that. So that's kind of interesting. I think I do want to be a little more rural, I think. You're coming to me? Yes, Paulina, yes. Okay. I'll wait here. That I would handle. I would definitely. If more of you were here, there wouldn't be a question. But as it is, I really only have one friend outside my daughter who lives here. Yeah, Southern Kentucky on the Cumberland River. Oh man. Yeah, visit first. Of course. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I think Tennessee has a program paying people to move there like $20K. Oh, I think I've heard that, Val. I think I've heard that. Terrence McKenna would not approve that mention. It does sound beautiful, Haggard. I like that. It sounds good. All right, we're going to read a little bit about where's Dumpy Dump. Justice delayed. We're going to read about justice delayed and how sad it is. If I end up on the islands, you should come there. Then I will. You're right. I will. That's not hard at all. You know what's really funny, Gal, is that when I was a little kid, this is so weird, so random, but when I was a little kid, I used to think if I don't make it, like as an adult, like if I don't succeed at whatever it is I'm succeeding at, I'm going to just move to the North Shore of Hawaii, North Shore of Oahu. Because I had been to the North Shore of Oahu and I fucking fell in love with it so much. And this is back in the day. This is back in the 80s. But I said, that's it. I'm basically going, I'm going to go on the North Shore of Oahu and just hang out. Smoke a lot of weed. Yeah, let's go. I know. I love Hawaii. I've been a few times because I grew up in California. So it makes it easier. But yeah, let's go to Tennessee and turn it blue. I'd do that too. I don't know. I just want a pretty vista. I just need a little bit of a view. I don't need anything else. I just need some outdoor space to sit in. If I'm going to force to watch the world burn, I want to watch it from the beach. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. No bueno on Tennessee. Oh, well, I understand. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't last there. Maui. I haven't been to Maui, actually. I've only been to Kauai and to Oahu. I haven't been to Maui or the any other islands. I'm very, very shallow in my Hawaii experience. But I did wake up in a gutter when I was 18 years old and we went on our post-high school trip because I drank a Manhattan. Those were the days. Oh, God. It's great. Great times. Great times. All right, let's read this. I would like the view from the Northern Cal. I know. Actually, I love the water. I just love water. I just love water. So I need to be near water. I could be in the middle of the country as long as there was a lake or something. All right, here we go. But I am an ocean girl. I'm pretty much a coastal jerk. Oh, Big Sur. Yeah, I love Big Sur. Love me some Big Sur. There's big spiders there though. So I'm not a big spider fan. I remember, never mind. I'm not going to tell you that story. Okay, anyway, this is from justsecurity.org, which is an excellent website. Trump's legal battles over January 6 are still alive and relevant. Synopsis of civil cases in the D.C. district courts. Oh. Yeah, I know. I'm a big water baby. I'm with Gal. Found a furnished condo in Hawaii for $111,000 investment. Fuck yeah, Lee. Let's go. Let's go. I might head to Mississippi and get a house on the Gulf and an hour away from NOLA. But is that, Jim, I just worry about the storms. I just worry about the storms. I have all kinds of spiders here, so no biggie. Well, yeah, no biggie if you're not afraid of spiders. Hello? And the spiders in the forest are really, really, really big. This person decided not to stay. Why I left city life to try remote work in Pennsylvania wilds. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends. I'm not full on Walden Pond, okay? Right? I'm not fucking with that. I still need weed delivery or a cheap weed alternative. Of course, I'll grow it, I guess, if I'm living out there. But I still need to, I don't know, I need to do stuff that might require access to a city. You're dealing with the storms in Florida now. I know that's true. You are. I guess I do have thought about that because the Gulf area is really beautiful. There's some beautiful parts of it, obviously. But I just am like, oh my God, the storms are going to get worse. Oh, good point, Tom. Insurance is prohibitive in Mississippi. There you go. Well, that's the problem. All right, here we go. President-elect Donald. This is from today, from Adam Klasfeld and Norm Eisen. Norm. President-elect Donald Trump's electoral victory and its legal aftermath placed an asterisk next to the expression, no one is above the law. In the wake of the dismissal of his federal election subversion and classified documents cases, the public and Trump himself will almost certainly never see how jurors would have decided whether he was guilty of the federal crimes charged. That makes the proposition that presidents are not above criminal law dubious at best. The same does not necessarily hold true for any ongoing civil suits or for jurors in those cases who may sit in judgment of President Trump for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Indeed, the Supreme Court has long held that a sitting president may be subject to civil lawsuits while in office, and Trump is the defendant in several civil cases alleging wrongdoing for trying to deprive citizens of their votes and for the Capitol riot. Civil lawsuits do not risk imprisonment, but they could result in significant financial awards and in establishing authoritative record of the events on and around January 6. The Great Lakes are a climate haven, but cold. I know, Tom. I'm really thinking about Michigan, though. So I just am not. I'm not sure I can handle the cold long term, and I don't want to move around much. I'm pretty much done with that. I'm not really a nomad type thing. I don't think I can do that. But I would like some flexibility. So I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Do 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 do. Okay, instead of beep 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 boop beep boop boop beep boop beep boop. Unlike criminal cases, the January 6 related civil lawsuits operate outside of the reach of Trump's pardon power or the Justice Department's jurisdiction, with one caveat which we discussed below. Need blue voters in Michigan to hold on our Dem leadership. Winters aren't so bad. They aren't? Okay, well then maybe I'm definitely looking at Michigan. Florida has gotten so expensive, it didn't used to be that way thanks to the Republicans. I know. My area is great for water and climate refuge, but yeah. Red area, but bright blue state. Oh, interesting. Spokane is nice. I also thought about Washington State. I did Lincoln County, Washington. Lots of property for sale. Oh, that's interesting. I would need to be kind of near an airport because of Bobo. But other than that, that's the only thing I'm thinking about. Let's see. The president-elect is named as a defendant in at least 5 lawsuits involving January 6 D.C. District Court Judge Amit Mehta, consolidated 4 of those cases, and D.C. District Judge Chanya Chutkan is presiding separately over another. I didn't even realize there were civil cases. Small bucket of money, somebody can buy up Sprague Lake in Lincoln County. Really? Miami is planned to be the Dubai of the USA. Barf. You want to be in Southeast Michigan anyway, away from Snowband. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good, thank you for that. Just moved to Spokane from Seattle, and yes, a lot of property is available in Lincoln County. My family has 25 acres out at Fish Trap. Oh, wow, cool. Rural life is romanticized, but the reality is it's bleak. Yeah, I've lived kind of rural a couple of times in my travels. So I understand some of the drawbacks, not all of them. I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I just don't necessarily want to be in an apartment building anymore. I agree. Had a house in the country for many years. I prefer the city life. I understand. Well, Montreal also is really beautiful. So that's quite a city to have to choose. It's always, you are around. Yeah, Iguana Sauna is around. Dubai and Miami do have similar flooding problems. I haven't had Indian food or sushi since I moved to the rural shithole. Oh, yeah, that probably is, that's a good point. That's a good point. Your choices are far less. Let's see. The president, among the first 4, Rep. Benny Thompson of Mississippi fired the opening volley. Then Rep. Barbara Lee of California took over as lead plaintiff after Thompson withdrew from the case. Withdrew from the case in order to chair the House Select Committee investigating the Jan 6 attacks. Other than Trump, the remaining co-defendants in this case include the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, far-right paramilitary organizations, and Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio. Rep. Eric Swalwell of California compounded Trump's possible liabilities by filing a similar lawsuit. The former president's son, Donald Trump Jr., Rep. Mo Brooks, and Rudy Giuliani were dismissed as defendants from both of the lawmaker-led cases. Why, I wonder? You slept one night at Fish Trap on our way west. God, Val, you are such a badass. Charleston is nice. You can walk anywhere as a college vibe, and there's really nice beaches 20 minutes away. That's nice. I used to live in North Carolina for a little bit. And I really enjoyed it. Let's see. 2 groups of U.S. Capitol Police officers followed, blaming their injuries on Trump. Officer James Blasingame, then a 17-year veteran of the force and a black man, filed the first of these police-led lawsuits, which described the racist abuse, violence, and trauma that he suffered holding back the mob from the Capitol. Blasingame's lawsuit named Trump as the sole defendant. Officer Conrad Smith, who is also black, led a group of 7 plaintiffs in a related lawsuit, which also sued the Trump campaign entities, paramilitary organizations and their members, and other individuals as defendants. Though the lawsuit's claims and defendants vary, Trump broadly stands accused of neglect, conspiring to interfere with civil rights, and violating the Ku Klux Klan Act, a Reconstruction-era law originally drafted to deter white supremacist groups from interfering with the civil rights of freed slaves. In 2022, Judge Mehta refused to dismiss the first 4 cases in a ruling that went farther than even Trump's criminal cases in holding him directly responsible for the violent assault on the U.S. Capitol. In Trump's federal election subversion indictment, special counsel Jack Smith sidestepped possibly thorny First Amendment issues by refraining from alleging that the then president incited the January 6 insurrection. Instead, Smith leveled 4 charges that focused more narrowly on Trump's multi-state false elector scheme and the pressure campaign on Vice President Mike Pence to count those fraudulent electoral votes. Conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstructing an official proceeding, and violating a Reconstruction-era civil rights law drafted originally to protect formerly enslaved people through criminal sanction. The consolidated civil cases against Trump, by contrast, directly accuse the former president of inciting the violent mob to descend upon congressional certification of Joe Biden's electoral victory, and Judge Mehta found those claims plausible. Oh, is this a link? Excellent! Having considered the president's January 6 rally speech in its entirety and in context, the court concludes that the president's statements that, quote, we fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore, and, quote, we're going to try and give weak Republicans the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country, immediately before exhorting rallygoers to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, are plausibly words of incitement not protected by the First Amendment, Mehta wrote in a 112-page opinion. It is plausible that those words were implicitly directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and were likely to produce such action. In making that finding, Mehta had quoted the Supreme Court's strict test for incitement in the landmark case of Brandenburg v. Ohio, that is, a finding that Trump intended his rally speech to provoke imminent lawless action. In his defense, Trump and his supporters have focused on this disclaimer that rallygoers should peacefully and patriotically make their voices heard, but Mehta found that Trump's passing reference to a more peaceful approach did not inoculate from liability alleged incitement in the same speech nearly an hour later. The Brandenburg test remains a demanding one, and Trump will be able to raise his First Amendment defenses again on a motion for summary judgment, and eventually, perhaps, to a federal jury and appellate courts. Readers may be interested in Tom Jocelyn dissecting Trump's peacefully and patriotic. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna bookmark that. Wait, you took me away from my article. Okay, fine. The standout Jan 6 civil case. On a separate track, inside the same courthouse, Judge Chutkan has been hearing the civil case that's most similar to the criminal case over which she formerly presided, Michigan Welfare Rights Organization v. Trump. Civil rights groups and voters first filed that lawsuit long before the January 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol, but shortly after Trump started his effort to invalidate the 2020 election results. The original complaint accused Trump of violating the Voting Rights Act through a conspiracy targeting areas with large black populations with bogus fraud claims, particularly in Detroit, Michigan. The NAACP later joined an amended version of that lawsuit, which broadened the focus nationally and also included a claim under the KKK Act. The named defendants also include the Trump 2020 presidential campaign and the Republican National Committee. The Unification Church, aka Moonies, through the True World Foods, controls the sushi market. Really? Is that true? Is that true? That's amazing. That's totally amazing. I like to make curry very much. I really enjoy that. But I do enjoy like having really good authentic Indian food too. So having access to it, I guess, is really that would be. I mean, having access to different variety of foods would be good. Let's see. Like the 4 consolidated cases, Michigan Welfare Rights Organization alleges that Trump incited the attack on the U.S. Capitol, but it also alleges a violation of the Voting Rights Act that shows the attack's pre-January 6 origins. In 2023, attorneys for the plaintiffs emphasized that their lawsuit involved more than speech, including coercive actions to block vote counting in tightly contested states, threatening state and local election officials to prevent certifying election results, and baselessly challenging the validity of legally cast ballots. Trump's legal team argued that this was First Amendment protected activity. The New York Times has a good article on Google Unification Church and sushi. I'm doing it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Chutkan has not yet ruled on Trump and his co-defendants' pending motions to dismiss the most recent complaint, and as a result, this case may be farthest away from a trial. But Chutkan, in Trump's criminal case, and Mehta, in Oath Keepers-related criminal cases, have worked quickly, and they likely will continue to maintain a speedy docket in the civil cases, buoyed by the substantial experience and familiarity they have accrued about the facts and legal issues related to the litigation. The civil cases could get more wind in their sails or turbulence soon in the form of special counsel's Jack Smith's final report on Trump's criminal cases, which will explain which will explain both his charging and declination decisions. Throughout the Jan 6 criminal investigations, evidence has emerged about the roles played, like the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys played in the riots, and their ties to Trump and his associates. Prosecutors did not accuse Trump of conspiring with these paramilitary groups to attack the U.S. Capitol, conduct that would amount to a criminal conspiracy, not protected speech. The civil cases, however, do include an element of that conspiracy. Smith's report may show whether prosecutors did not make that allegation because evidence of such a conspiracy did not exist, or, alternatively, whether they believe they could not prove such collusion beyond a reasonable doubt. The distinction could prove crucial in a civil case in which the burden of proof is the lower standard of preponderance of the evidence. The same implications may arise in how Smith's report addresses why he declined to charge Trump with incitement, with the reasoning favoring one party in the civil litigation or the other. During the Oath Keepers' criminal trials, prosecutors showed that the group's leader, Stuart Rhodes, tried to communicate with Trump through an intermediary, a U.S. military veteran named Jason Alpers, at a meeting at a garage in Texas. Rhodes, in a recorded conversation, tried to persuade Alpers to convince Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act in the effort to overturn Biden's victory. Alpers, who later cooperated with prosecutors, testified that he never passed on the message to Trump. Evidence also showed that the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys both had extensive ties to Trump loyalist Roger Stone, who adamantly denied any role in the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Stone has never been charged or publicly identified by Smith with any role in Trump's attempted subversion of the 2020 election. One of the Capitol Police-led civil lawsuits includes Stone, among several others, as a named defendant. Nobody responded for comment. At first glance, any civil immunity Trump could hope for may be narrow. On December 1st, 2023, a 3-judge panel from the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Trump could be sued for allegedly inciting the attack on the Capitol as long as he engaged in that incitement in his private capacity as an office-seeking candidate, rather than in his official capacity as an office-holding president. As U.S. Circuit Judge Sri Srinivasan wrote, when a first-term president opts to seek a second term, his campaign to win re-election is not an official presidential act, Srinivasan explained. The office of the presidency as an institution is agnostic about who will occupy it next, and campaigning to gain that office is not an official act of the office. Hi, SB. How are you? I'm happy you're here listening. The D.C. Circuit expressed no opinion about whether Trump's speech on the ellipse in the morning of January 6, 2021 was official under its test. But the panel rejected Trump's maximalist view of his immunity, and the Supreme Court's majority in Trump v. U.S. approvingly cited the D.C. Circuit's test for civil immunity in fashioning the High Court's own criminal immunity for some of Trump's conduct. In light of these previous opinions, the ground for advancing the lawsuits against Trump for now appears firm. And that's the thing. There's no Mike Flynn. There's no planners. There's no planners mentioned. Even here, however, Trump has some levers to pull from the presidency. Trump's Department of Justice may attempt to intervene on his behalf on the grounds of the Westfall Act immunity, a maneuver that would substitute the United States federal government for him as a defendant in cases involving the president's official acts in office. The Justice Department took this position in E. Jean Carroll's first defamation lawsuit, which held Trump liable for insulting comments about her at a press conference. The DOJ argued that the president's duty includes responding to allegations against him to the press, but Judge Lewis Kaplan rejected Trump's immunity claims, setting off litigation in 3 courts about what counts as official conduct. If Trump's DOJ were to make a similar argument about his alleged 2020 election subversion, it would be a startling reversal. The Justice Department has previously taken the opposite position in relation to Trump's criminal cases in multiple venues, and there's no guarantee that a court would accept it. The DOJ declined to assert that Rep. Brooks, a Trump loyalist, was entitled to Westfall Act immunity for his own speech at the Ellipse rally, and Brooks was dismissed as a co-defendant in January 6 related civil cases on other grounds. Even if Trump succeeded in substituting the U.S. government for himself as a party, the cases could proceed in court without personal liability for himself, but merely litigating the issue would help succeed in a time-honored playbook for Trump avoiding liabilities: delay. The 235 history of no man is above the law and its dismantling. This is just crazy to me. So crazy. Yummy. These January 6 related civil cases. Oh yeah, Ollie Alexander. I know. Yeah, I think of him as a lesser perpetrator, but still a jerk. These January 6 related civil cases could provide a test for what level levers of accountability still remain for a U.S. president, more than 235 years after the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. In 1787, in a speech to the Pennsylvania Convention, one of the Constitution's framers, James Wilson, emphasized his view of what would distinguish the President of the United States from the recently overthrown British king. Quote, "Far from being above the laws, he is amenable to them in his private character as a citizen, and in his public character by impeachment." In every century that followed, the Supreme Court echoed those words, in rhetoric, if not in practice. In 1882, the Supreme Court expressed the concept this way in United States v. Lee, a case involving the heir of Confederate General Robert E. Lee's wife. Quote, "No man in this country is so high that he is above the law." In 1997, then Justice John Paul Stevens quoted Wilson's words in Clinton v. Jones, establishing that a sitting president is not immune from civil liability for private conduct. The Supreme Court's unanimous decision resoundingly affirmed that then-President Bill Clinton could not avoid the sexual harassment civil lawsuit filed by Paula Jones simply because he was then in the White House. The Supreme Court's precedent in Clinton v. Jones proved pivotal for allowing major lawsuits filed against Trump during his first term to proceed, including the dual ones leading to writer E. Jean Carroll's sexual abuse and defamation judgments totaling $88.3 million. Those awards remain on appeal, and they will likely be adjudicated during Trump's second term. Oh my God. Why the 2020 election interference civil cases matter. Bye, neighbor. Over the past 2 centuries, statements of presidential accountability to U.S. laws have gone from credible to doubtful. At its high water mark, the Supreme Court's landmark opinion in U.S. v. Nixon released the tapes that sank a presidency. But the post-Watergate era brought new precedents narrowing the circumstances under which a president could be held liable. In 1982, Nixon v. Fitzgerald granted presidents official immunity in civil litigation for conduct at the outer perimeter of their official acts, and a majority opinion of the 5-4 court somewhat defensively insisted that this carve-out will not place the president above the law. In 2024, Trump v. U.S. established an elaborate test for determining whether a president is immune from criminal prosecution for conduct deemed to be an official act, and Justice Sonia Sotomayor's dissenting opinion argued that the majority set the bar for prosecution so high as to be illusory. Oh yeah, Montana, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. I like that area too. I like all areas. There's something for me everywhere. It's just a matter of where I want to be and stick for a while. In both of these decisions, the lead authors, Justice Lewis F. Powell Jr. and Chief Justice John Roberts, emphatically denied in their opinions that they had placed the president above the law. In practice, the viability of holding a former president liable for acts while in office in the wake of these justices' decisions appears to be theoretical. Trump's federal criminal cases are now dead. We shall see what becomes of the state cases in New York and Georgia, but their trajectory is unclear at best. As a result, the civil cases will now head to center stage. The cases could ultimately pile more onto the over $500 million in liability that Trump now faces, including the New York Attorney General Letitia James civil fraud case, if Trump does not manage to overturn his civil judgments on appeal. Perhaps more important is the historical record. Trump has promised to create a revisionist history of the 2020 election in his second term. On November 22nd, the Washington Post reported that Trump plans to use the Justice Department to advance his hunt for fraud in the 2020 election, allegations of which were rejected by dozens of courts, by the highest-ranking officials of his former administration, by every state election authority, by state disbarment boards, and by contractors paid by his campaign. His latest nominee for Attorney General, his ex-impeachment lawyer, Pam Bondi, helped spread his baseless fraud claims in Pennsylvania. So did his former nominee for that position, and his current nominee for FBI Director, Kash Patel, also reportedly promoted lies about election fraud while serving in the Pentagon and has publicly echoed those false claims since. If Trump uses the machinery of government to revive his 2020 election conspiracy theories, and all indications suggest that he will, the remaining civil cases could prove to be far more than a financial headache for him. They might be an authoritative contemporary reaffirmation of the record, one that counters Trump's attempt to rewrite history by offering a courtroom-based narrative of what he actually did, one tested by a jury and judges instead of loyalists inside the administration. That's a very good article. Thank you, Gal. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I have this article too. Going into the MANOSPHERE. It's time to tap into your inner dude, your inner bro. Inner bro. I don't know how to act like I don't know what my inner bro is. Silver Valley is going, Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. Yep. I just need water. I need water. That's what I need. I need a source. If I have to be inland, preferably a lake that I can swim in, because I love swimming in lakes when they're clean. And oh my God, there's some lakes in Maine that are just like the most amazing swimming lakes. So yeah, definitely. Let's see. Why is that turned around? Sorry. I don't know. I haven't figured out my camera. Okay. This one I wanted to read to you too. I would take you as a roommate, Lolo. Do you know how much I adore you? Aw, and we got a lot of weed stores. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hags, I love you so much. I love you so much. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know where I want to be. I want to be somewhere where I can grow something. That's true. I don't need to be out in the country. And I do need interesting things around, but I'm not like, I have to have the theater. I don't have to have a theater. I don't need anything like that. I need some restaurants, maybe. It'd be fun to go to a restaurant once in a while. But, I don't know. I just want I don't know. I maybe I just don't want to be in an apartment building like I think I need a place where I can walk around, because I spend too much time in my room. This is sounding so pathetic right now. It's kind of amazing how pathetic. I'm actually really happy. But I'm just thinking about the future. Thinking about the future. That's all. That's all I'm doing. All right. Let's do this. From Joe Rogan to the far right. Oh. Oh, Rose Lake in Idaho. Ooh, nice. We need to be near a golf course. Oh, that's so nice though, Jim. I'm glad you guys have that. She grew up to start with in Pinehurst till probably middle school. Oh. All right, here we go. We're going to read a little bit about YouTube's. Max Flower. I read that Will Nauto is still under indictment for the classified document. Is it really, Neil? Is it really? Oh man, maybe the Northwest is where I need to be. Is he really still under indictment, Neil? I did not know that. That's very interesting. Okay, so this is an article that was shared. I think Gal shared this. It's from 2018, but it really talks about the early days of YouTube, and it's the early times, previous to now, about how YouTube was evolving at the time. So I think it's interesting to look at what the assessment of it was based on what we know about it now. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, well, that's weird. All right. Oh, the doggy. Okay. Doggy's barking. Hold on. I'm going to put on lounge music, not like the loopy music. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. BRB. All right. Back. Dog's like, it's too cold outside. What are you talking about? It's too cold outside. A ton of beautiful legs. What? One of our daughters went to College of Charleston. We really like it. Housing is a little pricey. Yeah, I think I had a friend that lived there. And I know it got really popular. I don't know. I don't have any friends there. Like, I'd kind of like to go to a state where I have friends. Like, I have friends in Michigan. I have a lot of friends, you know, like Lee. And so I would definitely consider that. I would consider the desert because I like the desert. There's a town just shy of the Canadian border. I would do Washington, even though I don't have a ton of, I mean, I have friends. Well, I've lived in the Northeast before, so I have lived in cold weather. It's not like I grew up in California, but frozen iguanas dropping out of trees in Florida. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yes, I know. Oh, yeah. No, there's a real reason to think about Michigan. Let me tell you. I just gotta, you know what I have to do, Lee? I gotta go and visit. I gotta come and visit. I'm gonna do that and check it out. But it's good to know Southeast Michigan is where I want to be. Property is reasonable too. I know, I was looking. I've been looking. So thank you, Lee. I love you. I can't wait to see you. I know, an Eminem. And of course, that's really actually, Paul, you've hit it. That's actually the reason why I'm going. I'm just a huge Eminem fan, like to the point where it's ridiculous. No. All right, let's continue reading this article. I just read an article about the silver wave that's hitting Florida and South Carolina. It's causing problems. Well, you know, there's a shocker. there's a shocking newscast. All right. I'm part owner of a 100-wood acre, plopped down a trailer. Not sure about the water quality. There's formerly a strip mine on the property. Sounds like a party. I'm in. I'm literally thinking. I'm really. Yeah, really. Oh, you're there too. Okay, definitely. Michigan's looking really good. I would totally plop my little ADU on top of a frickin' piece of land near you, Max. For hell yeah. Of course, I would. Unfortunately, you would be like, I don't want to see you in real life, and I'd be like, but we're friends, and you'd be like, come on, leave me alone. Face back. Oh yeah, Paul and Hags, you two should connect. Okay, here we go. In 2007, and this is from 2018. Remember, okay, this article. Researchers at Southern Poverty Law Center drew attention to what was, at the time, a new problem. Neo-Nazis were filming. I'm not sure the Home Depot bucket filters will make the tailing water potable. Oh, man. I know. After watching Cecilia and Christopher in Svalbard, I feel like people can live anywhere. Oh, my God. I watched the Christmas show last night. Did you watch the Christmas one yet? Watch the Christmas decorating one. I have a feeling she annoys him. You guys getting a vibe from those two? I feel like she can be a little much. I don't know. Maybe that's my own like insecurity coming through. But I was like, I wonder if he gets annoyed by her. Because it's like she's got this big show and now he's got to do all this stuff on shows. And anyway, it's cute though. Watch the Christmas one. It's really good. Okay. Drew attention to what was, at the time, a new problem. Neo-Nazis were filming their rallies in a way that thrust viewers into the center of the action, conveniently excluding counter-protesters from the frame. They wanted to control their presentation, cast themselves as winners whose hate is tolerated by the public, and entice potential members with an attractive vision of group identity and inclusion. According to the SPLC analysis, YouTube was making it easier for neo-Nazis to distribute materials and recruit new members. White supremacy and hate speech have always been a problem on YouTube and other social media, but over the past 11 years, our understanding of YouTube's role in spreading hate has shifted. The central issue isn't necessarily that bigots can easily distribute materials within and among themselves. A report by Becca Lewis published in 2018 for the nonprofit research group Data and Society titled Alternative Influence, Broadcasting the Reactionary Right on YouTube, argues that YouTube's problem with hate speech stems largely from video collaborations. Specifically, collaborations between influencers with big audiences like Joe Rogan and fringe far-right figures of the intellectual dark web, whose personal brands are built upon racist, misogynist, and anti-LGBT hate speech. These collaborations benefit both parties, who each get the opportunity to expand their audiences into the other's fan base, Lewis argues. Oh my God. But for the viewers, these collaborations could lead viewers down where, for example, they begin as fans of Rogan and later end up becoming consumers of radicalized far-right hate speech. The main point of entry I focus on in the report is conservative and libertarian influencers with mainstream appeal, like Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin. Lewis told Motherboard in a phone call. When they host other members of the intellectual dark web, it's easy to get drawn into that world. Any attempts to respond to it that rely on mainstream media sources of trust simply aren't going to work. Yep. Yep. 6 years later, not different. The collaborative network, which Lewis calls the Alternative Influence Network, is not simply an attempt to influence YouTube's recommendation algorithm. Rather, the AIN builds a culture in which personal liability and authenticity legitimize the people in their network, not factual veracity or institutional support. Rather than building trust through fact gathering and rigorously sourced information, AIN relies on the persona of a down-to-earth countercultural underdog. In other words, AIN feeds on the precise cocktail that forges virtual communities and propels YouTubers to micro-celebrity status. Lewis said, is this going to depress me? Lewis said that without an in-depth understanding of the dynamics that drive the AIN, I think there's AIN on both sides, let me put it that way, any hope to combat the problem is destined to fail. Really, it is this fully fledged different media system with a totally different logic than mainstream media, Lewis said. So I think that any attempts to respond to it that rely on mainstream media sources of trust simply aren't going to work. Whoa, look at this. The Alternative Influence Network on YouTube. Guest appearances on the network from January 1, 2017 through April 1, 2018. This graph is a partial representation of collaborative connections within the Alternative Influence Network, a network of controversial academics, media pundits, and internet celebrities who use YouTube to promote a range of political positions from mainstream versions of libertarianism and conservatism to overt white nationalism. While collaborations can sometimes consist of debates and disagreements, they more frequently indicate social ties, endorsements, and advertisements for other influencers. Each line indicates two connected influencers appeared in the same YouTube video during the period of January 1, 2017 and April 1, 2018, serving as guests, hosts, or collaborators. The size of nodes are determined by the number of other influencers with whom they connect, demonstrating how much a given influencer serves as a conduit for viewers to other influencers in the AIN. The colors of nodes are determined by their total connectivity within the network or how close the influencer is to all other influencers. So we've got, I don't know if I recognize. Oh, Tommy Robinson is there. I mean, I think you guys might know some of the, I don't watch Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, Coach Red Pill, Carl Benjamin, Baked Alaska. Is he still doing things? I think he is. Mike Chernovich, Gavin McInnes, Steven Crowder, Lauren Southern, Destiny. Destiny has a little bit of a problem, doesn't he? Oh, your girlfriend's dad died. Oh, no. Oh, a mine disaster up in the Northwest. That's terrible. Let's see. I watched it last night. Wait, watched what? Oh, you watched it last night? They remind me of some friends of mine. He might get annoyed, but she gets things done. I know. Actually, they must have a really good relationship. I think it's just I'm projecting my own insecurities onto their relationship, and I shouldn't. Oh, the Sunshine Mine. Oh, Destiny and Nick Fuentes. Yep, that's right. That's right, Mr. Medicare. Or mediocre is what I call him. Roaming millennial. James O'Keefe. I'm just wondering if there was any Milo. Nick Fuentes, Mike Enoch. I haven't. Oh, there's Richard Spencer. Sticks and Hammer. That guy's such a fucking idiot. Look at how many connections Sticks and Hammer, whatever the fuck his name is, has. He's, oh God, such an idiot. It's funny, not some of these guys aren't, I don't recognize some of them. In order to explain exactly how the AIN functions, Lewis constructed a visualization. Each square represents a YouTube user, and each line represents at least one instance in which the two connected content creators appeared in a video together, blah, blah, blah. The darker and more central the square, the more connected the YouTube user. The bigger the square, the more likely the person is to connect one content creator with another through a mutual collaboration. Lewis studied 65 content creators across 85 YouTube channels. It's not comprehensive. There's others that we didn't include just because there's so many people involved with this, Lewis told Motherboard. Talk show hosts like Rubin and Rogan depend on a large number of guest stars and organically connect with other content creators, which is why they are included in this network. Even though they aren't at the very center of the AIN with the greatest amount of connections between users, they often serve as a gateway to more extreme users, especially because both have had guests from the far right. The YouTube collaborative network really functions differently than an interview on a mainstream network would, Lewis told Motherboard. A lot of times they signify social ties as much as formal interviews. It's really messy. The defense that people like Rubin use is that they're journalists. They're going to interview people whose opinions they disagree with. In essence, this strategy makes their guest stars more palatable to their audiences as human beings, building the human-to-human trust that fuels the AIN. How do these dipshits have influence? Oh yeah, most people are morons. You guys are so funny. Oh my God, it's so true. Rubin tends to engage with these ideas of these individuals in a direct discussion, but he rarely challenges them on their views. Meanwhile, Rogan tends to feed his guest stars easy questions and ignore their more controversial views. Users may notice that Rubin engages with the controversial ideas, while Rogan doesn't. It's worth noting that Rubin tours with intellectual dark web hero Jordan Peterson. However, it's unclear whether this distinction matters. Users are still likely to look up more extreme fringe content or have YouTube recommend this content. That's the point. If a fringe figure is featured as a guest star. Interestingly, while many YouTubers do interview shows like journalists, when they are criticized, their fans often defend them by saying they're not journalists and thus have no obligation to ask hard questions. Even though people like Rubin and Rogan are the most formalized journalistic formats of any of the people in the network, they still draw a lot from YouTube culture, and they still have this element of hanging out, Lewis said. A lot of Rubin's guests he will introduce as his friends. They will advertise the channels of the people that are hosting. So a lot of times, if they aren't explicitly pushing back or are critical of the people that they have on the shows, they can act as implicit endorsement or even advertisement for other people's content. It's posted above by Gal. Wait, which one? This one? No. Paulina, where? Can we have the link to this? I'm on a call and missing a lot of this reading. Yes, let me do this. This is one, I think this is one I found. I'm not sure this is the Gal one, but that's fine. Let me go ahead and do this. Let me entertain you. All right, so influencer article. Am I spelling that right? Yeah. Okay, there's the link to the article I'm reading right now. Yes, YouTube out. Sticks used to be a more liberal-minded than he really flipped, and that pipeline leads directly to Sargon Avocado. Whoa! Iguana, you know shit. You know shit. Okay, here we go. While it's very possible that these collaborations encourage YouTube's algorithm to recommend videos from the guest star, that's not necessarily the point. It's not just the algorithm, Lewis said. Even if that algorithm were not in the picture, if someone sees someone guesting on a channel they watch, then they are more likely to check out the channel of that guest. Still, the recommendation, I was going to say shit. No. Still, the recommendation algorithm can direct users towards more extreme content. On Rogan's YouTube page, one of the related channels is the official channel for Steven Crowder, a deeply conservative YouTube entertainer known for unintentionally starting the Change My Mind meme during a college demonstration designed to own the libs. Also, a wife beater. Sorry, not sorry. No, Paul, you're not confused. You're not confused at all because there was just an article. So you're actually on point, bub. However, Lewis noted that talk shows aren't the only point of entry into the intellectual dark web. After all, a diverse set of communities cultivate a sense of social cohesion and community and also have a habit of collaborating with more fringe YouTube users. In her research, Lewis identifies figures in the gaming and streaming community as another possible point of entry to fringe YouTube. I feel like they miss a little bit of the... Well, of course, this is 2018, so it might be somewhat different. Carl Benjamin, an anti-feminist YouTube personality, made a name for himself by capitalizing on the height of Gamergate in 2014. Users already embedded in the gaming community may have come across Benjamin organically without the need for Joe Rogan to serve as a middleman. According to Lewis, attacking the benefits of collaboration in the AIN might be one of the most viable ways to control the network. Interesting. Quote, some other scholars have really widely pointed to the radicalizing potential of the YouTube algorithm and the need to readdress content recommendation on the algorithm, Lewis said. I think that's really important, but I also think it's not going to solve this issue by simply looking at the algorithm. It's also important for YouTube to also reassess its monetization structures, to reassess who they reward for building followings, for them to assess their content moderation practices. Rebuilding YouTube's algorithm could be a long-term solution, but the fix would be slow, and they won't do it. There's no incentive. Reassessing YouTube's monetization structures could be a more immediate solution. YouTube has booted certain users, such as Logan Paul, from its premium advertising program, which allows higher and quicker profits for more popular users, after these users misbehaved on its platform. In Paul's case, he posted a video which showed the body of a man who had killed himself. However, even with YouTube's premium advertising program, users can still profit from advertisements, create sponsored content, or sell merchandise to support their brands. Another extreme way to attack the network would be deplatforming. YouTube also recently booted Alex Jones from its platform, not for hate speech or accusing the victims of Sandy Hook Massacre of being crisis actors, but for posting graphic content. For Jones, who relied on YouTube heavily, being deplatformed has been a critical blow for InfoWars. Well, hold my beer, 2024 says. However, Jones has been violating the site's content policy for years, and YouTube was clearly hesitant to use this nuclear option. It's also not evident that deplatforming every member of the AIN, especially more mainstream figures like Rogan and Rubin, is the right way to go. Lewis told Motherboard that she recognizes that there is no one single solution, and the main purpose of her research was to shed light on the existence and dynamics of the AIN as a whole. I don't pretend to have all the answers. In fact, I think it's really important that we investigate a lot of different options, Lewis said. But what I would say is that it is a multi-pronged problem, and it's going to require a multi-pronged solution. I know. And oh man. I think YouTube is an incredible tool for radicalization. It's just incredible. Incredible. All right. That's good. Let's see. I'm going to link this. This is a long thing, but it is the civil case against Trump. Let's see. That's Jameson Greer. I think we read about him. We read about that. And then the DA. Okay, wait. I've got more over here. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Where's my... Oh, yeah. Wait, let me open my Manosphere Monday. Whoops. I want to open my Manosphere Monday. Okay, let me open. Let's see. Technologies. Nope, we read that. Nope, I read that. Uh. Oh, I know. I need to go somewhere else. Hold on. Hold on just a minute. Sorry, everybody. Hold on just a minute. Just a second. Just a second. Don't go anywhere. Got some barbecue pork fried rice. That sounds so good. That sounds so good. During the convoy addiction, I started. Oh no, sorry. Conceal holsters on YouTube. Really? Oh yeah, my algorithm is completely messed up. Ugh. I get the stupidest stuff now. Ugh. Ugh. Blech. Ugh. Okay, let me see here. After action review of the COVID pandemic. Oh, was that today? Oh no, that's not today. That's tomorrow. Never mind. Poor Tbilisi. Go Georgians. That's what I say. Oh, here we go. Let me go to my. Oop. Dooty doot, dooty doot, dooty doot, 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 doot. Oh, I just want. Well, here we can.
News Nation campaign reporter Libby Dean.
Quiet.
I want to help our country.
No. Okay, listen, everybody, calm down.
News Nation campaign reporter Libby Dean here with more.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. This is what I was going to show you. This is just a minute, but it's, Kash Patel's head of the FBI. The flashlight companies don't want this technology on the market, and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. Every ad on Rumble. Still living in Tiburon. Oh, Tiburon's so beautiful. God, just living there is like a vacation, really. It's so beautiful up there. All right. Let me show you this. This is just a minute. It's not a big deal.
More. Libby, what have you learned about Kash Patel?
Hey, Adrian. Kash Patel is incredibly familiar with Trump and the people in his orbit. He worked in the last administration as chief of staff to the acting secretary of defense. Now, after Trump's first presidency, Trump and Patel remained relatively close, Patel going as far as refusing to testify in that documents case that was brought against Trump. That case that was led by this Mar-a-Lago raid here. Likely what led Trump to want to replace the FBI director. Now, let's listen to what Kash Patel has said in the past about how he'd like to lead this agency should he be confirmed by the Senate. So we didn't have that sound there, but he basically sums up that he wants to clean house at this department, at this agency. And then this obviously would be under Pam Bondi if she is approved by the Senate. That is Trump's pick for Attorney General. Now, what makes this pick different, this FBI director pick, is because the FBI director serves a decade-long term, typically. But that's not what we're going to see if Trump fires or asks for Christopher Wray's resignation to get Kash Patel in the door here. Adrian.
News Nation's Libby Dean live in West Palm Beach, Florida for us. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Go to join and.
Okay. Anyway, that's just a little depression for you. Nothing major. No major depression. I think I've got one more little clip here I want to show you. Maybe two. Hold on. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
By decreasing government waste and corruption.
Shush. Please be quiet. So this guy, I blasted this guy yesterday on Twitter. I don't think I did it on Blue Sky. This guy is Brian Kim, and he is a flim-flam man. Oops, hold on. Let's get rid of the label. That doesn't make any difference. This guy's a flim-flam man, Brian Kim, and this is a resume. He sent his resume to, yes, Brian Kim. He sent his resume to Elon for the Doge role. Yes, incredibly familiar with. Yes, they're so close. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just going to give you a flavor of Brian.
I hope that you will support me. So I applied to Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, and I want to show you my resume, which I submitted to Doge via X. But first, I want to show you this to give you some context. So this is Doge's account on X, and Doge's purpose is to cut wasteful government spending, to slash excess regulations, and dismantle government bureaucracy. Now, Doge is accepting applications. So here's what the job posting said on Doge's X account. We need super high IQ, small government revolutionaries willing to work 80 plus hours per week on unglamorous cost cutting. If that's you, DM this account with your CV. Elon and Vivek will review the top 1% of applicants. So here is my account on X.
Here it is.
And as you can see here, I applied with my resume and my initial recommendations. So here's the CV or the resume that I submitted. So my name is Brian Kim. I'm a certified public accountant with a master's degree in accounting science. I am applying to Doge to make the IRS less corrupt, stop hassling law-abiding taxpayers, and stop wasting
Friend broke up
taxpayer
with
money.
sibling who suggested
So my social
fake
media
lobbying
presence, I have a
org would be
YouTube
good
channel,
fit.
Clear Value Tax, with 2.31 million subscribers, 60 million views in 2024. My education, a bachelor's degree in accountancy, master's degree in accounting science. Certifications, I'm a certified public accountant, I'm a CPA. So here's my work experience. I'm a tax practice founder. I've experience in IRS audits defending taxpayers.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Brian. We've heard enough. Thank you, Brian. But let's look at some of your clients. Yeah, let's see what your clients have to say. Hold on. I'll show you. Oh, let me show you what your clients have to say. Let me see. Brian Kim, and what is it? He lists his IQ on his resume. Yeah. So here, Clear Value Tax is his handle on Twitter, because that's his firm, Clear Value Tax. Is applying to be a gargoyle in the Doge call center. But some of Brian's clients from his closed business didn't appear on his curriculum vitae. Yeah. They said only accepted high IQ. I think that was required. Well, if you have to say it. I too, Marty G from Chicago writes, in April of 2022, because that's when the business closed. If you have to ask, you can't afford, you should be smart enough to know my IQ. See what I did there? Marty G from Chicago says, I too, wait, no, we've got to have a voice for this.
I too have been ghosted by Brian this year. Sad. He's been my tax guy for years, and I used him since his BMK days. What? The way he has handled this has been shockingly unprofessional. But I still have... But I still wish him the best with his new YouTube channel. But then Chelsea and Kelly V, Sheffield and DePaul, same experience as Dano. I've been trying to get my 2019 original documents, giving statements, 1099s, bank and FCM statements, etc. back for months. Timmy has responded some of the time. Timmy has responded some of the time, but it's now been over 2 months since I've heard back from Timmy. Brian has been making plenty of YouTube videos, but I haven't received a reply from him since March 25th, 2020, other than an auto reply on May 25th saying he'll be back in June. I've tried emailing him on 520, 525, 914, 917, 923, and 124. I've also reached out to Clear Value's website, his YouTube channel, and called him. The only reply I got was on YouTube, telling me to invest in fucking Bitcoin. I would have recommended Brian prior to the past 9 months. If you have him do your taxes, start early. In case he stops responding and you need to switch CPAs and start over. But that's not it. Oh, yeah. Dano! Here we fucking go. Dano! You know, we referred to him in the last one. Well, Dano is gonna fucking tell you what's what. Here we go. I've been a client of Brian Kim's for years with one of his other tax prep businesses. BMK. But as you can tell from the Yelp reviews for that company, a month or two ago, Brian just started blowing off his customers there. No replies to email, no replies to phone calls, not even an email auto response telling us about the new company. I'm really bummed, since I really thought the world of Brian. But after being left abandoned by my CPA during tax season for apparently greener pastures with no replies or referrals, I'll be finding another CPA rather than signing up with his new company.
Brian! Oh, wait. Oh, this is the picture. Closed. Yelpers report this location is closed. But look, he had good reviews for a minute, and then he lost his way. Oh, Brian. Anyway, you know, I just like to do some of their HR reconnaissance for them, you know. I'm in the middle of a poker tournament, and it's hard to keep a straight face. Brian! How did I get caught up on that? Oh, it's because of Brian was in my... Okay. Yeah, I understand. I'm not going to link you. Bye. Have a great day at work, Bobo. You look so cute. Not that that matters. You shouldn't have to look cute for your job. You're really good at what you do. Let me see if I can find anything else. Let's check one place here. I'm really trying to make sure I check all my little locations where I tuck things to watch. Here we go. Oh, God. You know, here's the thing. Let's see. Australian? No. Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh, I guess that's really long. Oh, shoot. I hate those things. Okay. I love you too, Hags. I love you too. He'll fit right in. Actually, that probably is going to be like the most amazing thing for him. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm coming at you now with something else. Yeah, I'm coming at you with something else. Coming at you with something else. All right. I was also, you know, I as I've said multiple times, I grew up in what is now known as Silicon Valley, and I also worked as a nonprofit person, asking for money and doing things for social good, whatever. I spent a lot of time in Silicon Valley meeting with corporate and cultivating relationships with corporate executives. I mean, it was my job. And I've not met Mark Andreessen, but I know enough about Andreessen Horowitz to know that he's a fucking asshole. And now he's becoming like a more vocal asshole. And Jenny Cohn also picked up on that. And, oh, whoops, sorry. And put this up, and I thought, well, this is interesting. So tech billionaire, and this all goes along with the manosphere. It's all related. Tech billionaire Mark Andreessen is reportedly getting involved with Doge. He's also invested in the network state movement led by Balaji Srinivasan, which aims to build 2 crypto-based countries within existing states via the creation of parallel institutions like X. Oh, well, let's see what he has to say.
Concept of the parallel establishment. If you take up all of these new institutional replacements on the right-hand side together, that's a parallel establishment. They exist alongside the legacy in parallel. They're gaining strength and pulling away users until they become the new thing. Okay, so this is how we turn that seemingly impossible thing of building a new country, break into a bunch of individual startups, and then aggregate them together. There's two parts of the parallel establishment. There's the parallel societies, okay, and these are the physical societies, right? These are the first part of today's conference is about these to show that this is actually physical and real. Okay, you're going to see about a dozen of these physical startup societies. There's Cul-de-sac in Arizona. There's Prospera, as I mentioned, in South America. There's Cabin in Texas. But these are actually decentralized. They plan to do nodes elsewhere. That's just their first nodes. Okay, they're all kind of network cities or network societies that are setting up little nodes around the world. So this concept of the parallel establishment, if you take up
I'm going to need to understand a lot more about this. Okay. The network state. Earlier, we gave descriptions of the network state in one sentence, 1,000 words, and one essay. We also showed what a million-person version looks like on a map. Here's the one-sentence definition again. A network state is a social network with a moral innovation, a sense of national consciousness, a recognized founder, a capacity for collective action, an in-person level of civility. Is that what it is? A company town? Where do these decentralized nodes get their, say, water? Maybe they don't need water anymore. An integrated cryptocurrency, a consensual government limited by a social smart contract, an archipelago of crowd-funded physical territories, a virtual capital, and an on-chain consensus that provides a large enough population, income, and real estate footprint to attain a measure of diplomatic recognition. Wait, I kind of want to go to this. The network state. What is a network state? This is networkstate.com. Networkstate.com. On-chain consensus is off the chain. Oh, there's chains? Oh, okay. Communism? I don't know. A network state? It's like crowdsourced. It's a crowdsourced city. Earlier, we gave descriptions. Okay, so keep in mind diplomatically, but you can't get diplomatic recognition for a made-up country right off the bat, so you can't found a network state directly. Instead, you found a startup society and hope to scale it into a network state that achieves diplomatic... Isn't that just secession? Isn't that just secession? Oh, God. Please don't let the venture capitalists run everything. Please. Please, fucking God. Please, fucking God. The parallel establishment. At the heart of the Network State Conference is the idea of the parallel establishment, which encompasses both the physical parallel societies and digital parallel services. I don't even understand that. I believe they also intend to capture the existing authority like in SF. I'm not sure I know what that means, but I would be interested to hear more, Max. Physical parallel societies include startup cities, local communities, and digital organizations, all embracing in-person... Well, what, like a cult? A digital organization like a cult? Or like a militia? I don't get it. All embracing in-person components and political innovation based on opt-in, internet-first principles. I don't get it. The digital parallel services, on the other hand, fix individual failing Western institutions, providing alternatives that operate based on decentralization and internet values. It sounds like chaos. Oh, Andreessen Horowitz, there it is. But Balaji is a former general partner of Mark Andreessen's venture capital firm, Andreessen Horowitz. Balaji Srinivasan is an American entrepreneur and investor. He was a co-founder of Counsel, the former chief CTO of Coinbase, and former general partner at the venture capital firm. Oh. In 2022, a self-published book titled The Network State, How to Start a New Country, Srinivasan elaborated on his ideas about online nationality and the need to break away from geographical governments. The book describes the concept of a network state in which digital communities crowdfund resources to build autonomous cities and states. The ideas in the book were inspired by the work of the economist Albert Hirschman, who sees two basic paths to reform, one called Voice, remake the system from within, and one called Exit, leave and build something new. In an April 2024 article for the New Republic, Gil Duran warned against dismissing the network state as an unpopular fringe theory. His article drew from Srinivasan's September 2023 podcast interview in which he called for tech-friendly people to seize political power. Take control of cities. Srinivasan said his plan would exclude Democrats from areas that techies control. What? Doesn't make sense. He suggested bribing the police with banquets and jobs for their relatives to prevent them from enforcing laws disadvantageous to technology companies. Duran argued that Srinivasan's ideas reveal an appetite for autocracy. And here is Mr. Andreasen. More people to worry about. I saw an interview with the mayor of that area, and the bros are suing the people that have owned the ranches for generations for talking. What? They intend to elect their people to city council. Yes, Max. Total. It's control. It's privatization of cities. It's the privatization of cities, y'all. It's the rise of the Mensel. And here's one now. Mark Lowell Andreasen is an American business person and former software engineer. He's the co-author of Mosaic, the first widely used web browser with a graphical user interface, co-founder of Netscape and co-founder and general partner of Silicon Valley venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz. Billionaire Mark Andreessen is reportedly getting involved in Doge. Uh-oh. I wonder if I can read this. Let me see. There's Bill Ackman, Mark Andreessen, and Travis Kalanick. Kalanick, that's what I call him. I don't know how you say it, are reportedly getting involved in Doge. Didn't Travis Kalanick get in trouble for sexual harassment at Uber? Am I wrong about that? Didn't he have to leave Uber because he was part of a sexual harassment? Am I wrong about that? I could be wrong, but I don't. Fuck! All right, I'm going to have to figure that out. Andreessen, Srinivasan, and Thiel are working closely together to make the network state a reality. Well, they just won the presidency. So there's one big step in the right direction for them. Feel as though talking about that organization as though it exists and is a thing with a portfolio is obeying in advance. Is it? Or is it understanding? Isn't Doge really some sort of dog meme? Yeah. Well, I mean, it is, although they are discussing what their plan. I think it's helpful to know what their thought process is. I don't think it's obeying necessarily to understand what their visions are, but I get the point that you're assuming it's going to come into existence. And I agree with that. I think we're in the clown phase right now where they're throwing a lot of very shocking appointments and ideas out. And what they will do will certainly be painful, but it may not be exactly what they're describing now, obviously. I think of it more as like the long-term vision and what they're going to be working towards and what's driving their actions in the moment. You know what I mean? So, but I appreciate what you're saying. It is kind of like, it's not necessarily something. I'm interested in the journalist statements. Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting. I have not heard of the network state before. I haven't heard of Srinivasan, so I didn't know he was working on this. This is an important detail because, Andreessen, Srinivasan, and Thiel are working closely to make the network. See, these three even have an entire company, Pronomos VC, dedicated to building such cities around the world. It's an important detail because they're working closely. So they did. Thiel and Andreessen are major funders of Pronomos, where Srinivasan is an advisor. Pronomos founder is Patry Friedman, grandson of the conservative economist Milton Friedman. Oh, that's interesting. Instead of wondering publicly what the fuck if it will be of anything and what the fuck those guys with the insane ideas are on, what? Accepting and reporting on it as a fait accompli. Yes. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I sent an email about it in Solano County. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Are you saying maybe we shouldn't read about it? I'm not sure what you're saying. So he wrote a book, The Network State. Oops. Did it continue? Oops. And as you can see, Mark Andreessen blurbed it. Well, we know they're friends. Why do Trump, Thiel, and Andreessen want to build new cities? The network state movement calls for the creation of private cities. Oh, doesn't this 15-minute cities thing? I thought he was against 15-minute cities. The network state movement calls for the creation of private cities ruled by non-democratic tech governments. Freedom Cities seems like a slight Republican rebranding of the concept by Gil Duran. All right, I'm going to read that later. To recap, the network state cult calls for the creation of new tech-controlled sovereign cities that would essentially act as miniature countries. These independent territories can be created one of two ways. The first is called voice. Okay, he did that. Oh, Gary Tan. Y Combinator CEO Gary Tan is currently trying the voice method in San Francisco, where he is spearheading a tech-funded campaign to capture control of City Hall. How do I know this? Because Tan has described his project. So this is interesting. Gary Tan, I heard about him from some Bay Area stuff, but I didn't really follow him on Twitter, but he literally preemptively blocked me. So I kind of wondered about that. Lolo has the link I sent. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Oh, it's in Solano County? The second method is called exit. Exit involves finding a bare piece of land that can be built up into a new tech city, ideally with tax breaks. But aren't you still in the... Oh, never mind. Prospera on the island of Roatan in Honduras is an example of this, a tech-run special economic zone where certain rules don't apply. Prospera has become a mecca for unregulated gene therapy experiments. Oh my God! Is this... You're telling me it's the island of Dr. Moreau? Is that what we're doing? And then there's our local version, California Forever. No. Oh, there it is. This proposed tech city in Solano County was supposed to go to voters for approval on November, but has been delayed due to massive community opposition. California Forever denies being a network state project, but Andreessen is one of its investors. In addition, Balaji Srinivasan has strongly suggested that California Forever... As far as I can tell, Gil Duran, I like Gil, has done most of the heavy lifting when it comes to reporting on this network state movement. The MSM has largely ignored it, as per usual. But it does seem like Island of Dr. Moreau. What the fuck? Prospera in the Honduras is an apparent network state that is financed by Pronomos Capital. What? Prospera is a semi-autonomous city established under... So it's already happening? Zone for employment and economic, inspired by the concept of charter cities and cities such as Hong Kong, Singapore, and Dubai. Through low taxes, privatized government, social... Oh my God. The city hopes to drive economic development and innovation. Well, how's it going? I'm really interested in this. Under the Honduran Zed law, Prospera has its own civil law and regulatory structure independent from that of Honduras. Remains bound by the Honduran Constitution and its criminal code. The project is managed by Honduras Prospera, Inc. The company is financed by several investors and venture capital firms, including Balaji Srinivasan, Peter Thiel, and Mark Andreessen. Through the Pronomos Capital. Social services such as health and education are planned to be privatized and financed from taxes, fees, and the sale of land to new residents and investors. So Peter Thiel is kind of taking over Honduras? Is that where I'm going with this? The tech bros are taking over Honduras as is that like a lab? Yeah. You think our justice system is a weighted hassle? Oh, yeah. Oh boy. Okay. And the sale of land to new residents and investors. Individuals can apply for e-residency, which allows them to register businesses in Prospera and benefit from the local tax and regulatory structure. What? What? Residents must sign the city's social contract and pay an annual fee to live in Prospera, which is $260 for Hondurans and $1,300 for foreigners. What? I'm shocked. I'm actually, what? Yeah, Jamie, what the fuck? This is crazy. Jenny, excellent reporting. Excellent reporting. Wow. That's crazy. Trump's weird. This is Gil Duran's piece. Why do Trump, Thiel, and it? Oh, you know what? I kind of want to read this. Let's see. It's not that long. Let's read this. Okay. So this is from Gil Duran from the Nerd Reich. Freedom Cities. Where have we heard this idea before? The point. In another bout of Peter Thiel and the weird network state tech cult, Donald Trump's campaign platform has a plan to create new charter cities, so-called freedom cities, on federal land. It's a clear indicator of his willingness to sell out the country to his far-right Silicon Valley benefactors. In fact, Thiel and Mark Andreessen are founding an entire company, Pronomos Capital, dedicated to building such futuristic tech cities around the world. The backstory. Kamala has nothing like this on her website, declared Republican pollster Patrick Ruffini on Twitter yesterday. This is from August 13th, 2024. His post included text from Trump's campaign website that promises to build freedom cities. Quote, President Trump will work to open up the American frontier, holding a contest to charter new cities where families and individuals can have a new shot of the American dream. There you go. Patrick Ruffini. Wah, wah, wah. True, Kamala Harris has not proposed the creation of bizarre new cities through some kind of game show competition. For one thing, it's not clear why such cities are needed, unless, of course, you are familiar with one of the stranger ideas floating around certain tech circles these days. The network state cult, a frequent subject of this newsletter, calls for the creation of private cities ruled by non-democratic tech governments. Freedom cities seem like a slight Republican rebranding of the concept. The adoption of the idea suggests that Trump's team, which announced the plan last year, has been searching for ways to align with weird tech for quite some time. Many news outlets wrote about Trump's plan for new cities in 2023, but I can't find one that mentions the term network state. It's likely that reporters were totally unaware of the concept back in 2023. But in 2024, the idea deserves a fresh look because some of the same people behind these proposed network state cities are putting all of their money behind Trump's campaign. To recap, the network state cult calls for the creation of new tech-controlled sovereign cities that would essentially act as miniature countries. These independent territories can be created in one of two ways. How do their roads work? I mean, I understand they could fix their roads, but what if their people need to leave their city? Yeah, the Bureau of Land Management. That's right. They want to take that land. The first is called Voice, entails using the political system to take over existing city governments through elections. Gary Tan, currently trying the Voice in San Francisco. Okay, we've talked about him. Second method is Exit, involves finding a bare piece of land. Prospera on the island of Roatan in Honduras is an example of this. It's a tech-run special economic zone where certain rules don't apply. Prospera has become a mecca for unregulated gene therapy experiments. Don't Bundy cattle already graze there? That's right. Well, you know what? You guys, you could take care of Bundy's cattle while you're there. Oh yeah, that's just Ted Bundy's. That's just Bundy's cattle. They come through town every day. Freedom. And then there's our local version, California Forever. This proposed tech city in Solano County was supposed to go to voters for approval, but it's been da-da-da. In addition, the main event, Note, Srinivasan has clearly derived his ideas from J.D. Vance associate Curtis Yarvin. Oh, well, let's see. Curtis, we're talking about you. We're talking about you, Curtis. Come on, Curtis. Come on. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You are the men's cell. You're actually the god of men's cells. We're going to keep you right there, you little bitch. There you go. I'm going to put you right in the corner like the bitch that you are. Okay, here we go. Who calls these tech-governed dictatorships patchworks or realms? Yes, of course he calls them the realm. That's right. That's right. Anyone using the word freedom is pre-stigmatized. Yes, it's true. I think Bureau of Land Management is state-controlled, not federal. Well, does that really matter? No. What an unfortunate-looking human. Yes, indeed he is. But here he's being invoked. Vance associate Curtis Yarvin, who calls these tech governors the realm. This is an important detail because Andreas and Srinivasan and Thiel are working closely together to make the network state a reality. These three even have an entire company dedicated to building such cities around the world. The Pronomos promises to build the cities of tomorrow with better laws for better lives. Oh my God. I'd like to learn more about the place in Roatan. Teal and Andreessen are major funders of Pronomus, whereas Srinathasov, okay, blah, 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 blah. Milton Friedman. Decades of research on economic development has shown that the primary determinant of prosperity is the quality of a country's laws and the integrity of its courts, administrators, and other legal institutions. Well, this is a fucking laugh. Okay? This is a fucking laugh. This is a fucking laugh. That clown fucked up my professional life so bad the last time. I'm telling you, this is stupid. When institutions are outmoded, corrupted, or failing, the result is untold human suffering. Workers are trapped in low-wage jobs and dangerous working environments till children don't get educated, adults can't get quality health care, and people can't start businesses to support their families. Yet, upgrading national institutions is notoriously difficult, and consensus on country-level changes should be slow and deliberate. That's why we need to blow it up, everybody. That's right. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Oops. All right. Freedom cities. Blah, blah, blah. The basic idea, creating sovereign company cities with different laws to help a chosen few escape the problems of wider society, is clearly the same as Trump's little freedom cities. He announced the plan as part of a quantum leap plan that includes flying cars. This seems like a clear nod to the accelerationism movement sweeping parts of tech. Trump's inclusion of network state ideas in his official campaign platform raises many questions. Who will live in these cities? How will they be governed? Who will profit most from their creation? How will they deal with fierce bipartisan community resistance like that which derailed California forever? Okay, can we just stop a minute? Because when they destroy or when they shutter parts of the federal government, when they turn over administration of schools to the states, these things are going to happen. Okay, when they disembowel the federal support for states on these programs and the billionaires walk in and say, I can privatize that, that's really what's going to happen. Yeah, I can't check email right this second, but I will check it in a minute. So hold on. Yeah, it's hard for me to juggle a lot of like stuff at once. Okay, let me get through this and then we'll go to that. It's done. Yay. Okay. Oh no, we didn't. We did. Oh, okay. So excellent. This is like a lot of great, Gil has a lot of great links here. All right. Awesome. Okay. I'll be connecting that. Sent several reports. Oh boy, you're really counting on me doing a lot of reading. That's a big task. That's a big ask. But let me take a look and see what we've got. It's good stuff. That man is wearing SpongeBob. Yeah, he is. Oh, I'm not signed in. Are you kidding me? Come on now. All right. Minimally competent with these the three. Okay, here we go. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Is that me? Yeah, that's me. Where is it? Oh. Damn. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Why do I not see it, Sam? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, did you DM me? Oh no, totally. But I don't know if you DM'd me or did you emailed me, you said. So I'm just wondering why. Am I in the wrong email? Maybe I'm in the wrong email. No. There we go. Here we go. Let me go here. Let me try this. Hold on. The last one I have is the coming Russian debt crisis. Are you sure you emailed me, darling? I just don't see them. I have the debt crisis from Russia. That's the last thing I have on the 26th. Yeah, totally. No, just now. Okay. All right. Let me check. And here's the thing. I want to kind of talk about this manosphere thing. Wow, it is not. Maybe it's probably my thing. Okay, well, I'll just wait and see if it comes up. Um, so I just want to kind of encapsulate, especially for people who don't maybe watch the show all the time. But I have one of the things that intrigues me about right wing messaging, and right wing messaging is really my main thrust, right? Like, I really am interested in what is the communication that's coming through the networks into the brains of our compatriots. Who is oh, that's Curtis Yarvin. That's a great. I'm so glad it looks like he is getting his chestnuts roasted. Oh, actually, that's a great idea. Why don't we move him a little closer to the fire? We're going to make his butt on fire. We'll put his butt on fire. There we go. Um, I just saw Butter Mom for the first time. We have a serious problem in this country. Sock Med, social media is the Antichrist. Oh, yeah, Butter Mom. I don't know what Butter Mom is. I want to scream. I knew management were likely Trumpers, but they showed their true Fox Business colors in that call. Oh, no. I am telling you, I don't know what it's going to take for people to realize. Do mold bugs even have chestnuts? Well, probably not, because that's why he can sit so comfortably on the flames, isn't it? Okay, I'm checking again for the. Sorry, Tom. I get overwhelmed sometimes. I don't mean to be that way, but I get overwhelmed. I don't know why it's not coming up. That's so weird. So bizarre. Anyway, so I want to go back to the manosphere. And I'm glad Mr. Yarvin's here, because he's one of the problem children. So one of the things I noticed a couple years ago when I was looking at and listening to a lot of right-wing media was, and this is all stuff that you all know, but it's kind of like a lot of fringe movements, right, found a home within this kind of alt-right or right-wing kind of movement. And it's really not the Republican Party. It's just the right-wing movement in general. And so all these fringe groups were finding homes. And one of the groups that intrigued me the most was kind of like the men's rights groups. And since I started watching them, a lot of content has become really focused on male grievance, demasculation, emasculation or whatever, like all these things that are impacting men's ability to be men's. And so I noticed, like, the right-wing activists like Jaron Jackson and other were actually formally aligned with rights men's groups in the country. Lee has an update. They told our European colleagues that everything is just a threat. Bark is worse than the bite. This will be good for our US businesses. I mean, you can't do the math on that, Lee. How in the world are people like so blind, or are they just trying to make the best of it? Like, I don't really understand that. Because Clown wants to bring back manufacturing to the US and won't do anything to harm NA economy. Oh, sorry, I don't know what NA means. But you know what's interesting is that the prices with the tariffs will be high, and the prices with an American workforce will also be high. So either way that Trump wants to push the economy is going to result in higher prices for consumers. And that is exactly what they complained the most about when they voted against democracy. Oh, North America. Thank you. They're willfully blind. They question our data all the time. Yeah, I understand that. That I understand. It's just so interesting to me. Like, this seems so like shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, we're just not going to become an isolationist country. It's not going to be able to happen unless we completely become a I don't know, a slum. I don't know what you would call it. All right. Where the hell is Sam? I swear to God, he's not coming up. He's not coming up. Okay. All right. Okay. So Manosphere. So as I noticed, I bet. Yeah, that's true. Ghetto in terms of like areas of impoverished, not the usage here in the U.S. around stereotypical language. I'm not using it in that. Usually the elite aren't there. No. The U.S. imports $1 billion worth of copper from Mexico annually. What's that tariff going to do to the price of copper? Oh my God. What's that price? And that's going to impact homes. And I mean, that's the thing. I just don't think he can actually do what he's saying he can do. I don't think he can really do that. You know what I mean? So I know that this is, but the problem is even the words carry weight and cause consternation and investors are jittery and all that bullshit. So yeah, I don't blame you, Lee. I would hold out for that severance, right? Oh, go down with the ship. Yep. Girl, I got you. We're going to start that compound. We'll grow our own food and weed, and then we'll be okay. Yeah. So, and back to the manosphere. Then I also noticed a couple. Then I started getting into YouTube, right? Because I wasn't really a YouTube watcher until like 2022, 2021, maybe. Because I just didn't. I worked. I didn't really pay attention to social media that much. Tariffs cause inflation to rise, and then interest rates. Yep. Chud's nuts roasting by an open fire. Jack Smith turning up his nose. I think I had something. Rudy's nuts. Wait, I have a song like that. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up. Because I can. Where is that? Rudy's nuts. Here we go. I have it. Here we go. Rudy's nuts are on an open fire. Justice handing out the blows. Superseding, coming down to the wire. Can't plea like Meadows, and it shows. Everybody knows. Exactly. The Christmas. Some treason and a little fraud. Push this nation to a fight. Tiny MAGA with their fists in the air. Scream Hunter's dick says got some might. They know that Jack is in his way. He's bringing tons of more indictments and he'll slay. And somewhere in D.C., Judge Chutkan smiles, bringing the hammer down on Eastman and his lies. And so step up and take your licks and blow off to your new daily grind. Yeah, we have relying. We had a few things. I think we were still in. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we were still writing. Every trader's wife who's boinking Chinese spies. I love that song. We should come back to that. That's Rudy's nuts. Yeah, it's true. Tom, it's not coming through. I think there's actually an issue. Because I get your emails. There's no problem. People should look up the tariffs on washers and dryers on what they did to LE and then LG. The other countries exporting copper to the U.S. will raise their prices by 24%, and that will be pure profit. They all make more money than me, so they'll be okay. I need to figure out and protect my 401k. Yes, Lee. Oh boy, I don't know. It's just like it feels like a whole new world now, even with even with kind of like it just feels like a whole new world. I want the song Rudy's Nuts on my playlist. I know we've got to finish. I got to finish that song. I have so much music. I'm going to tell you right now. I was thinking about that last night. I miss singing so much. And I know it's me. I have to just stand up and sing. I have to it's a me problem. But anyway, if I had a 401k, I would look at SPY and the S&P, not advice, but look at SPY. Is that a index kind of What is that? The index, like an equity investment in a, what are they called? Now I can't even remember what they're called. It's like a thing about, it just reflects the S&P 500. It's like a group of stocks or like a mutual fund almost, but not a mutual fund because it trades like an equity. Anyway. Money, money, money. It's so funny. Yeah, it follows the S&P. I just don't remember what it was called. Like it's an equity, but I can't remember. It's a specific kind of equity. That's all right. It's fine. It's not really important. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to kind of follow the indices. That's usually a diversified kind of approach. I mean, it's not a bad approach. Oh, depends. Just depends. There's so many factors that are involved in choosing a valid investment. I never gave investment advice. I was always just like I was a broker. I could do transactions on the market. I could I knew all the operations. I knew the compliance. Blah blah blah. So, but I don't really know. I don't really know anything about. Yeah, of course, short term's always turbulent. But yeah, following an indice is usually a pretty sound, pretty, at least you're diversifying your risk a little bit, especially with the S&P 500, which is better than like the the NASDAQ 100 or the, New York Stock Exchange, the Dow or anything. All right, let's see. What else do I have? Because I have stuff. Hold on. But I guess I'm done with my like presentations, but I want to talk about like this rise of kind of incel culture or mencel culture that are coming into that are really coming into the spotlight, especially with the recent presidential change. And what's interesting to me is that you have a kind of group of dudes that were clearly looking for kind of where they fit in the world, especially in the Me Too movement. And I really believe that the Me Too movement was a significant milestone in birthing, or actually encouraging, because it was already birthed, but encouraging a men's rights movement of, not not kind of like not taking responsibility for their behavior, and kind of really it was a real slap in the face to some patriarchy. And as with any good movement that seeks to make the world a better place, it was infiltrated and ruined by a lot of people. And so I think that the rise of the men cell is something that is only going to get more prevalent in our society. And so, with shows like with Andrew Tate having kind of his popularity, with these podcasters like Theo Vaughn and Aiden Ross, and Joe Rogan certainly is kind of like the kingpin of men cells, if you will. And Tim Pool plays a role in the men cell world. It just kind of encourages men to be pissed off about their place in the world. And the Me Too movement made it almost now is, being associated with the Me Too movement is a stain on your record, because it's associated, and the manosphere did such a good job of vilifying the Me Too movement. And so, as with the election of Barack Obama, who it was the first black president, and that racist response to that, it kind of folds into the response from Me Too and other things, rejecting society's attempts to create a more perfect union. So that, I think, is at the crux of kind of this manosphere. And the rise of these popular Like, I even saw a mainstream story on the news or passed by it last night about recognizing what IP2 is. Oh, it was talking about, that's what it was. It was talking about the guy who's in Thailand, or he's in Korea, South Korea, the IP2 streamer who basically goes around and insults people in Korea and is now actually facing trial for breaking various Korean laws about behavior in public. He like performed fake sex acts on a statue honoring survivors of World War II. What's his name? Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali. So Johnny Somali's facing like 30 years in prison in Korea for breaking various laws as he's an IP2 streamer. Well, now the news is talking about the IP2. And if you want to talk about like a whole dark cosm of men cells and where a lot of this kind of anti-establishment, but anti more perfect union attitudes, boy, it really exists in that IP2. And so having that flood into mainstream is really a little bit, it gives me a little bit of pause. So all of the emphasis and all of this right wing, all of this media ecosystem, I guess, the ecosystem of YouTube and other things, has really served the manosphere over the last 10 years or so in terms of cementing it. And now you really can't turn on a lot of right wing stuff without some mention of male persecution or just hitting out at women. And of course, with the introduction of Kamala as our candidate, it just all went into hyperdrive. And they just can't let go of it. So I think that in terms of the manosphere, it has a huge influence on politics. I was listening to was it an article we were reading last week about how Trump used the manosphere, if you will, that ecosystem of streamers like Aiden Ross, like Theo Vaughn, like Joe Rogan, to kind of cement himself in the minds of a certain segment of a formerly politically unaware group. I mean, really, it's kind of fucking brilliant. He really, this ecosystem of men cells is growing. It's not shrinking, and they have gotten valid attention from the man. And so I do think it had, maybe they don't vote, but maybe they sat home. I don't know. That's another question. But the Logan Paul, the fighting, all that stuff is feeding into and really trying to preserve that toxic male trope. Like it's really kind of got its hands on that. And it's like, I'm not going to let go of that trope. I want men to be that in the world. And that's what this whole media system is backing up. I mean, Portland Andy. I mean, it's just a lot. Yeah, they're an easy mark, and really, you just have to be a little like edgy, right? You have to drop a F-bomb once in a while, and they fucking go crazy. Because they are the people, and this again, I'm going to say it again. I think that the anger that MAGA and this base feels comes from the fact that deep down inside, they know they're wrong. But nobody wants to feel wrong. But they're wrong. And this is why they need the validation of even an asshole like Trump. That gives them incredible validation. Their shows are blowing the fuck up. Theo Vaughn is blowing up. So to me, we're only at the start of this kind of man problem. And I don't mean men are problems. I mean this toxic shit is really a problem. And I hope we address it. I'm not sure how to totally, but it's definitely a lot of different aspects. And I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a lot to say about the closeness of this election and the fact that we just couldn't push it over the mark in terms of how people feel about women and especially women of color. So I thought we could move to be better, but apparently we're not there. So hopefully, Speed Queens, I like Speed Queens too. I like them. It's just old fashioned and they're ready to go. I like it. I like my men like I like my washers. Heavy duty and built to last. That's right. I like my men like I like my washing machine. Anyway. But yeah, the Manosphere. And then, I have, again, Fresh and Fit podcast, Modern Life Dating. I first got involved by watching Modern Life Dating when I first entered YouTubia, all those years ago. Should have hammered towards more house seats. Oh my God. There's so much we should have done, Tom. And we have to get involved in local politics. Please. If you don't smoke pot, please go run for something. If you don't smoke pot or have weird habits, please. Let me find Modern Life Dating because this guy, I'm banned from his chat, by the way. I know. It's not shocking. All right. So let's see. Is he having he's not having a show. He loves, this guy's like one of those sex tourism guys, who's, but he's like, he tells guys how to get girls, mostly abroad. Mostly abroad. Oh, here we go. Johnny Somali. Well, there you go. He did a whole show on Johnny Somali.
Boom, baby.
Wait, I got to show you this guy. Let me get a better one. Let's do the call show because he looked terrible when he did this. But this is the problem we have, folks. Okay? That right here. This guy. Stephen Yarvin sitting next to him makes perfect sense. We won't watch the whole thing, obviously, but you'll get a feel for my friend, Modern Life Dating. I have no idea what this guy's name is. I can't remember. Yes, Tom, you should.
Boom, baby. We're live. Welcome to Interview with a Man, episode 792. Free Consultation Friday. How's everybody doing today?
He has a phone-in show.
What a morning I have had. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm feeling extra patriotic today because we're going to get going. It's Free Consultation Friday. Remember, Blog Talk Radio is going to be shutting down.
Uh-oh.
They are, like I said, they were a poorly run business.
Money, muscles, game frame. That's
are
what's behind him.
with them shutting down. So
we're
going to get going right away.
Let me see.
Frame the question. And as a side note,
wait, I need a chick question. Come on. Who gives a shit about Bitcoin?
This is going to be a very merry Christmas for me in Tokyo. I decorated the house. I got Christmas lights, and I've embarked on a journey that has not finished yet. Just so you guys know, the Christmas tree
I know
journey.
This is ridiculous.
I'm in the middle of it. We do not know
big pimpin'?
what's going to happen.
This?
Find out on the next ways.
Oh, here we go.
So, as you can see,
I see. Big pimping. Okay.
Because,
prank caller returns.
Okay,
here we go.
Now we got an anonymous caller coming in 11111. So I think this is the prank caller trying round 2. Let's see what this one is.
It wasn't me.
Hello, international caller. You are on the air. Going once. International caller. Hello. Going twice.
Oh, here we go. This was
Is still holding on. This person desperately needs help. How about we take a break and we go help 716, and then we come back to the Christmas saga.
Okay. Well, you're boring. I don't know what's going on. All right. Let me show you. This is his channel. Interview with a man. Dude party. 9 p.m. Wednesdays. Dude party. All right. He does have a thing about Johnny Somali. Let me see if I can find one of his old ones because sometimes he's like in his Tokyo apartment and I kind of want, oh, here we go. Hey, Japanese restaurant with 5 girls.
All right, guys, look who's back. Karen is back from graduation. So you graduated in medical science as a lawyer.
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
you said you're going to study abroad in London.
In Thailand.
In Thailand. And what are you going to get?
Study my boobs. Big boobs.
And you're going to take...
Okay, so basically what he does is, yeah, what are you doing hanging out at the gas and sip? Yeah, exactly. So this is just exploitation of women. That's what this guy does. And he has no power in his life other than his YouTube channel. Yeah, don't touch her. I know. They're disgusting. And I really don't. I don't watch him that much. I usually watch his shows where he's sitting in his apartment in Japan. And then I'll just drop in for a soundbite and then leave. Is this real or did I fall asleep and nightmares are 3D? Oren, it's the manosphere, baby. Okay? It's the manosphere, baby. Okay? Yeah. So, I think we have a problem in the way, and when I saw a bunch of young men week after week at Trump rallies dressing like Nick Fuentes, in the suits and everything, and Aiden Ross, I'll show you Aiden Ross. Hold on. I know, but you need to know because these people are going to be part of the fucking universe come January. Okay. So I'm just saying. And Aiden is mostly on Twitch. You see, I don't think I subscribe to him. But this is interesting because it all comes back into what I've witnessed on IP2, which is guys treating girls like shit. Aiden, yes, he's the sniffer. He's the sniffer. Okay, so he's offline right now, but you'll get the idea. This is Aiden. And he is an idiot. And let's see if he has a video up. Nope, no videos. Oh, he goes ahead and just deletes all his videos. I see. Okay. Interesting. So he doesn't even have any existing videos, but he has. Oh, actually, this is his Kicks thing. I'm so sorry. This isn't Aiden Ross. Hold on. That's his Kick channel. Where's his real one? Where is his real one? Oh, wow. It's not even on here. Has he been kicked off? No. Maybe he doesn't do anything on. He might be on Kick. Oh, okay. Well, that's terrible. Anyway, he is huge. I got to find him. Because it's so weird. Oh, 1.5 million followers on Kick. Here we go. He's over on Kick. Because on Kick, they can do a little more uncensored stuff than they can on YouTube and on Twitch. So a lot of them are moving from Twitch to Kick. Well, they're meatheads, but they're like fucking popular meatheads. Here we go.
Better watch how you talk when you talk about me, 'cause I'll come in for way many men, many,
it's Aiden right there.
Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. Put money on my head, go on, get your refund. I ain't dead, I'm the diamond in the dirt that ain't been found. I'm the underground king, and I ain't been crowned. When I round, something special happen every time.
Yeah, but this kid is big. This kid is really big. Really big.
Go ahead, lose your head, turn your back on me. Let's get you.
On gather marked. Hold on. On gather marked. Hold on.
Yeah, you don't. I'm going to tell you right now, the shit that comes out of these kids' mouths The fucking racism, the misogyny, the bullshit is just out of control. So I actually think that kind of rhetoric is going to get worse. I think the whole trad rad, well, not, I mean, he's not, I don't see that happen as much anymore. He definitely is in the catbird seat. And when he got that interview with Trump, it really exploded. And so he's a clown, but he's not the traditional IP2 clown, right? He controls his clowning a lot more. He's more like a Kai Cenat or other big Twitchers, big Twitch streamers who have really large followings. Like he's like the trash, the dumpster version of Hassan Abi, who also has millions of viewers on Twitch and Kick and other places. So, yes, and playing 50 Cent, yeah. Right. Anyway, so the manosphere is a rising problem. A big Twitch streamer. Well, okay. I mean, maybe people have heard of Hassan Abi. He's pretty big. And XQC, he's pretty big. Play an opening seat of Idiocracy on loop. I know. I'm just telling you, these guys are more popular than they were maybe 7 years ago. Okay? Sorry. I'm not making them popular. I think. I hope. But yeah, they're around to stay. Anyway. All right. Ow, my balls. Yeah. Oh, AOSO was on Hassan Abi. Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes I like him and sometimes I don't. Yeah, go away. I'm baiting. Play him. I could show you Hassan Abi. I like Hassan Abi. Let's see. I'm not going to link these guys, though. So just forget it. I'm not linking them. Hold on. Let me see. Wait, he's more on Twitch. I notice him on Twitch. I follow him. I follow Hassan Abi. He's not live right now. No one's really. Oh, Hal's live. But where is Hassan Abi? Oh, I don't know where he is. Maybe I might have. No. The Hassan Abi waiting room is live. Oh, here we go. This is Hassan Abi. He's very popular. He's got. What is he? Oh, this is just the waiting room. Oh my God. See, this is the thing. They all have these weird accounts. All right. So this is Hassan Abi. Very popular guy.
Criminal. That is true. That is like not wrong. That is literally not wrong. If she, that's
He's
why
more
it's
left
shocking.
leaning.
Even if her dad actually made this
I'm going to
decision in a
Starbucks while you're baiting.
Trump fashion, it is very cool that she's now cooking him a little bit and simultaneously
he's pretty
associating this,
big.
like,
He's pretty big.
media coverage worthy decision with a pro-Palestinian, anti-genocide moral position. This will absolutely change the dynamic a little bit. I would love to talk to this person. I would love to get in contact with this person. I'd love to talk to them. They seem dope. Speaking this week on the cable news outlet Spectrum, which regularly carries Los Angeles Times content, Dr. Soon Shong was asked about a possible political motivation. I want us desperately to air all the voices on the opinion side, on the op-ed side, he said. He said he did not know whether readers viewed him or his family as ultra-progressive or not. But I'm an independent.
No, we don't.
In an interview with one of his own reporters on Friday, Dr. Soon Shong said that his stand was not based on any single issue, nor did he intend by withholding an endorsement to favor either Ms. Harris or Mr. Trump. We should be an organization that stands up and says the facts, presenting views across the political spectrum, he said. I think that the country needs that desperately. Several senior editors of the Times said they were not briefed on the reasons for Dr. Soon Shong's decision, but they noted that he had often been critical of the Biden administration.
Yeah, because he's actually a dick. So we know. So sometimes Hassan, to me, has problematic views on things sometimes. I think he's a little bit of a bro sometimes, but generally he's far more left-leaning than any of the manosphere people that I've been talking about. So definitely a great alternative. If your younger folks are consuming content on the Twitchers, I guess if they were gonna consume content, this would be one that I would push them towards, Hassan Abi. But you know, I don't know. It's certainly, I like paying attention to him because he is one of the more eloquent Twitchers. And so I'm curious because I do think his influence is pretty significant in that world, and that's good. That's a good thing. Even, people aren't always going to agree with me, and that's fine. But that's why I hope maybe someday I'll have millions of viewers that will carry our message out into the world of media literacy. Woo! Media literacy, media literacy. That guy used to be on the Young Turks. Oh, really? Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know if he gets along with Cenk. I don't think Cenk really comes on his show or anything. Can't really recall him commenting one way or the other. But yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy, kooky, mixed up world right now. But here we are. Oh, I know. There is another thing I wanted to check before I don't want to let anyone go yet. Hold on. Don't leave me, please. Don't leave me. I know it's been 3 hours, but I don't care. Okay, I'm not going to do your premium, Elmo. It's not going to happen. You can keep asking me. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me see. Actually, there are some things I want to show you. And let's see. I want to go through my bookmarks. It's bookmark time. It's bookmark time. Hey, everybody, it's bookmark time. LO. The Young Turks is bad too. Oh no, the Young Turks to me is totally bad. That's right, except for me. LOLO. You could push young people in my direction, but they're probably going to be bored. Boo-doo-doo. All right, Jim Stewartson, my bud, director of the FBI nominee Kash Patel, spent 4 years trying to cover up for January 6, including his own role of chief of staff to Patsy Chris Miller in ensuring there would be no military assistance at the Capitol. This is black letter treason.
My firm belief is that if we would have sent even one National Guard troop up the Capitol Hill before the onset of the riot, we would have been accused, President Trump and I and the military and Kash Patel would have been accused of fomenting a coup against the elected officials on Capitol Hill. So I think it's important to recognize that the United States military, there were 10,000 police officers on duty that day. All of our briefings and all of our coordination with them, they said we can handle up to, here's a headline for you. Yeah. They said they can handle up to 1 million demonstrators. They're like, we got this. We got this. So we were very comfortable with the request based on their threat assessment of what they could handle.
I have less than a minute. I doubt they're going to focus on the president's words that many of you will now peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol so your voices will be heard. We'll give you the last word, Kash Patel. So now this is going to be a Hollywood
good thing they didn't get accused of that.
License to ignore what is clearly the most relevant facts in the case. And Donald Trump authorizing this days earlier. What does it tell you about the committee and about the show that they're going to put on for the American people, missing pertinent information?
Future FBI director here.
Yeah, sure, Sean. So what they're doing is they're politicizing the national security of our country. They're forcing individuals like me who served for 16 years to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees that should never occur. They're attacking
Oh,
people
like you
with
suing
political
Jim?
subpoenas and vendettas and then crying about them when this Justice Department doesn't get it. You know what they should do, Sean? They should release every single document they have in their holdings. Chris and I have seen them. We want them out. And above that, they should release every transcript. Mine, General Milley's, Secretary Miller's, everybody's
Yeah, I believe
transcript
he
to show the
did. Oh, it
American
was in
people
the
that we took
Colorado
an
one.
oath to abide by the Constitution. We took an
He
oath
got in the
to
Colorado
testify
hearing.
that day
I
about
don't think it was
January
Eastman.
6th, and they can read in black and white
No, I'll have
what
to
we
find
did
that.
and how we acted
I'll find it.
appropriately and how the president's authorization was unequivocal. They don't want to put that on the front lines, but I'm happy to come on your show and tell the world about it.
Hey, I'm not gonna testify, but I'll come on your show. Great. Here's another one. Empty wheel. Reminder, Trump withheld appropriated funds to have this prosecution, then unlawfully involved himself in a tax case. His AG set up a side channel to ingest dirt from Russian spies, and then an informant framed Joe Biden. Oh, this is about Smirnoff, I think. Damn it, I hate this fucking thing. Okay. Where are you? Oh, here we go. From Amanda Carpenter, Empty Wheel quotes, the pardon power is intended by the framers to be a tool of mercy for the public good. Hard to argue how pardoning Hunter Biden advances any cause for the general public. Yes, other presidents have abused this power. Now Biden joins their ranks before Trump does it on a gross scale for J6 rioters. It's prerogative, not abuse. It's the power of the president to do it. Well, it's understanding that you're about to, your son will probably be put in a prison. And so, yes, I would do it too. I'm sorry. That's not even a question. It's not even a question to me. I don't even care. Oh, I love this. This is from 2021. Wow, this really bugs me that it does it this way. Can you just show me the fucking post? Sorry. Oh, there we go. I gotta find that. It's his Colorado testimony. I think that's what you're referring to. Better than pardoning traitors. Yeah. All right. I just love Mickey. I love these old dips. Sorry, the bookmarks are somewhat unconnected, so we'll have to kind of jump around a little bit. But what the hell is this? Anyone? This is Mikhail Margulis received a genetic token for himself and Donald Trump. Let's see. There's Mikhail. There's little Mikhail Margulis. That's right. He is no longer living with us. Genetic token is 2 directions and 3 meanings. Directions civil and military, values reliable, fast identification, memory of a dear person, possible personality reconstruction with the latest and future technologies. What? Oh, what? The genetic token is a 2 direction and 3 meaning, the civil and military. So it's this signal, this little whatever. Weird. It's a bunch of Russians. Okay, here we go. The genetic badge.
Genetic badge is made of high-strength steel and titanium with an empty cavity for keeping personal biological
no, it's not.
data.
It's just bad English.
Once it's put
Hold on
inside,
just a minute. I go back. She talk more.
clean
Hold on.
nail plates, a bun of undyed
No,
hair,
never mind.
dried blood drops.
Come back here. Okay.
Genetic badge is the valid identifier of a serviceman being at the risk. Genetic badge is made of high-strength steel and titanium with an empty cavity for keeping personal biological data. Once it's put inside, clean nail plates, a bun of undyed hair, dried blood drops, electronic chip, and photos. Genetic badge is one-time closed. It has 2 identical elements.
A bun of
The first
undyed
one
hair.
is fastened on a belt, and the second one is kept at the military registration and enlistment office, at home, or in IT bank DNA. In case of emergency, the contents of 2 badges should be drilled in short term for identifying a person. Take care.
Insert token anally.
Genetic badge is the valid identifier of a serviceman
Genetcheski sheton. Okay, stop talking.
Steel and titanium.
Stop. The captain reads his glowing hostage like a review of genetic toxins, so I get to get yours today. You're the captain.
Greetings to all.
Greetings.
I, Alexander Lebedenko, the sailor, a deep sea captain, works on the oil and chemical tankers. My work is always associated with the risk of emergencies. Furthermore, I often fly on aircraft to foreign port for boarding and returning at home. Whenever I was at sea, in the aircraft, in the land, I always have my personal genetic badge. Join it now. Greetings to all.
Greetings, друзья. Greetings, friends. So Gal says, Mikhail Margulis, who was in Florida, an oligarch who lived in Florida, Mikhail Margulis traveled to get one of these special babies, these anal suppositories for Donald Trump. I don't know if he ever gave it to him or not. That's a captain's costume. Okay. Oh, the captain. I'm captain. Look at me with my little pendant right there. Yuri Tabak, U.S. Navy, received a genetic token. It banks DNA. Yuri Tabak seen here at the Friends of Israel Defense Forces Gala. Yuri Tabak, captain of the first rank of the U.S. Navy, also received a genetic token. Oh, IT bank DNA. I just thought it said it bank DNA. Oh, what the fuck? Friends of the Israel Defense Forces. Oh, yeah, can't read that. That's okay, though. Yuri Tabak promotes QAnon sense in Russian. Sure, suppository is the best method for TFG. That's true. It might get lost. God knows what's going on up there. Oh, I can't read that. Oh, it's in Russian anyway. Who are these folks? Oh, everybody's just so happy. I don't recognize, but I love the gold jacket. I love your gold jacket, lady. Lady, you're looking great in the gold jacket. Yuri Tabak's son, it has a video, and it's weird. I think my dad is a Russian spy. Oh my God, I love this. I love this.
It's a weird question, but I wanted to ask you if you were ever a spy.
I wonder if I can watch this. BuzzFeed multiplayer. Let's try. If I have to,
I really want to make this video because I'm 21 and I still have no idea what my dad does. And the things I do know about him make no sense. My dad is the first Soviet-born.
So I'm gonna make a video about it. I'm 21. I don't know what my dad does for a living, so I'm going to YouTube. Sorry, here we go.
To be a captain in the US Navy. So people always thought that he was a spy, and I never really got a chance to ask him because he was constantly working overseas. A few years ago, he retired, so I thought I'd finally have a chance to ask my dad because he'd be around more often. The only problem is he's still constantly traveling. Like right now, he's in Ukraine, which is a country that's in the middle of a huge war with Russia. Why he's in Ukraine, I have no idea. So right now, I'm gonna drive to my parents' house and see if I can find anything that gives me more information about my dad.
I'm sorry. This is very serious, but for some reason I can't.
Okay, so there are a few reasons I think my dad is a spy. Reason number one, the basement. So not only was my dad born in Russia, he also has a communist dungeon.
Русская народная песня «Степь да степь кругом».
I mean, this place is crazy. I don't know where he got this stuff or why he collects it, but a lot of it is Soviet things. There's Lenin's head, just a massive statue of Lenin's head. I mean, this is a portrait of Stalin. Why would he have a portrait of Stalin? There's different mannequins and so many guns and swords, but it's a lot of communistic propaganda. Flags, different writings on the wall. He literally has KGB books. He has an entire shelf of Russian books, Russian literature, Russian history, Russian spy books. Okay, he also has an office down here that's just basically full of more Lenin heads for some reason, and Stalin, and just dictators. I honestly don't know what any of this stuff is, and I have no idea why a U.S. soldier and someone who considers themselves an American would have so many Soviet and communist things in their basement.
What is that picture of Stalin? I haven't seen that one.
Reason number two, his LinkedIn. So his resume starts out making sense. He went to Temple University and got a Bachelor of Pharmacy, and then started doing pharmacy in the military. But here's where things start getting weird. In 1992, he becomes an investigator for POW MIA Commission. In 1997, becomes a mission commander of Defense Threat Reduction Agency, where he deals with nuclear missiles, then starts working for NATO, becomes Chief of Staff of NATO in Moscow, Russia, and currently is a CEO of Fort Seal, which is a computer and network security company. It gets weirder though. He has 3 recommendations on his LinkedIn, and they're all from Russians. Leonard Tertulitsky, Alexander Bierman, Andrei Bykov. Andrei Bykov writes, he is a really good guy. Reason number 3, my dad got kicked out of Russia. Twice. I don't know why my dad got kicked out of Russia. The first time he got kicked out, me, my mom, and my sister stayed in Russia and lived without him for 7 years. The second time he got kicked out, the embassy told all of us to leave. The only information I have is this plaque I found in the basement. This was given to him when he was kicked out of Russia in 2001, and it says, for activities incompatible with his diplomatic status. Reason number 4, mystery trips to Ukraine. My dad randomly goes to Ukraine every few months. He never tells me when he's going or why. I feel like my mom probably has to know some more details because he leaves her so much, he's got to give her some sort of information.
Hello?
Hey, I just have a quick question for you. Do you have a sec?
Yeah, I have a sec. What's up?
I wanted to know, why does dad always go to Ukraine?
Yeah, that's good business in Ukraine.
What kind of business?
Well, you've got some interest there. Okay, sweetie, I gotta go. I love you. Bye.
Mom? Mom's a spy too!
My dad just came home, so I'm just gonna go ask him. I have a camera. Is it cool if I interview you real quick?
What, now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you, it's a weird question, but I wanted to ask you if you were ever a spy.
Well, I guess it all depends what you're calling a spy, or what do you mean by a spy. The Russians thought I was a spy, but then in America a lot of people call me a spy, and I had an ID card from NATO. My military ID said 007. Yeah.
Your ID said that you were 007.
Correct.
But you're saying you weren't?
I'm not saying anything. I don't know. You didn't tell me what you think the spy is.
When I looked at your LinkedIn though, your career made like no sense.
What don't you understand?
You never did pharmacy.
I did a little bit. Not very well, but I did it.
When you were in Russia, why did they think you were a spy?
Well, because, you know, I speak Russian without an accent. I grew up in the streets of Moscow. I could get lost there very quickly. If I don't shave for a day, have a few vodkas, I'm just like as Russian as anyone else.
How come your basement looks like you're a fan of communism?
You want to keep your friends close, but you want to keep your enemy even closer. So you know who they are. You know how they think. That's why a lot of people would mistaken me for a Russian, because I was so much into it. As a matter of fact, I had a boss one time at the State Department, a diplomat. She actually, for 10 years, thought I was in the Russian Navy rather than the United States Navy, and this is our
That's
diplomats.
right. The pharmacist
So if you
is
have
an
this massive
assassin.
connection to Russia, why do you always go to Ukraine then if you're retired?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
All right, I tell you what. You can go with me this time.
You want me to come with you to Ukraine?
Yeah.
But Ukraine's in the middle of a war, and I'm not like trained like you are in the military. I don't know if I can go to Ukraine.
You'll be okay. Let's go.
I mean, this feels like he's making a joke out of it.
So they're not letting us out because of my equipment. They want to know exactly what I'm filming before they let me enter the country. My dad talked to them for a little bit. I don't know what he said, but we got out. I'm in Ukraine. This is crazy. We got picked up by another black van. This one had a naked man in it for some reason, and we started to drive. We stopped for a bathroom break, and I discovered the real squatty potty. When I went outside, I noticed my dad met up with a random dude and gave him a bag. We then went to a military restaurant that looked just like my dad's basement. And my dad met up with more people. And that's when I realized my dad comes to Ukraine to drink. That can't be it. We got back in the van, and the naked man was still there. I started to get pretty nervous because we were driving for a really long time and no longer on a road. It was very bumpy.
I'll stop. Hold on. Hold on. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Gonna do that right now. Here's the link. Do 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 do. We're all kicked out of the techno over in sovereign techno sovereignville, distributed city for thought crime. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Oh my God. All the time. That's all the time. That's fine. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Everybody calm down. It's going to be okay. No need to panic. I should be back soon. Maybe. Let me check. I should come back soon. Don't panic. Oh man. Tell ya. Hi. Hi. Yeah, welcome back. See, it just takes a minute. It just takes a minute. It's okay. I put the link in the chat. You can take a look at that video. I want to watch the end of it too. I want to see if he's a spy or not. I'm not sure what to think of it right now. I think it's kind of goofy, but it's interesting. And I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. Not really sure. La 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 la. La 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 la. He's not a spy. I don't think he's a spy. No. What I have to do, Paul, is just cut that part out of my video. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It won't be a strike. That means his dad is a spy. See, that's the thing. I mean, I think it seems to me like he probably, I don't know, he could be. He has a butt token, though. Oh, yeah, that's true. He has a butt token. That's true. He has one of the suppositories. So he probably is a spy. Probably. Because he's got a butt token. So, new kid. No, the kid's a spy. Yeah, that's it, Oren. That kid is a spy. He's too good of an actor. I have a friend who's high-ranking diplomat who I'm sure is a spy. When I ask her, she just laughs evasively. Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's like one of the best responses to have. If you think someone's a spy, like, oh, you're so, oh, so silly. You know. The kid planted everything in dad's basement. I mean, really. It's kind of a ridiculous basement. I don't ask my suspected friends anymore. I wouldn't. Well, and especially in DC, I agree with you. When I lived in DC, I think you are a little more cautious about asking people what they do. I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I feel like you don't probe too much. Because, people have different weird jobs. Anyways, I know. The mother they will reunite over there. Oh. That's interesting. All right, so let's see. Today, I think I'm gonna do a space this afternoon. I'm gonna put one up. I'm gonna put some parameters around it, just because I don't want it to become like the public square for Twitter. If people want to have a room to really express like significant opinions, they're gonna have to open their own space. I'm sorry. I'm not a Phil Donahue. I don't want to be a Phil Donahue. And so I'm going to be a little more edited in how the space is managed, because I have a very intentional goal for the space, and it's not to become the great debate palace. So I'm just going to say that. And it's my own mental health that I'm trying to protect. Misha Paniov's house was full of Russian religious icons, but not a single Soviet thing. But he was a very anti-communist guy who drove a tank into Paris with the USA. Oh, interesting. She's always been posted locations that are conflict areas. Huh. Interesting. That's very interesting. My friends that are members of the NRA have no idea what a spy operation that is. I can imagine that, Jim. I can imagine people thinking like that you don't really realize what the NRA is involved with because you just take it at face value that it's about the gun ownership kind of thing. I guess I could understand that. Spaced out space is my domain. That's right, Mama. That's right. I just don't want to, I just really think I'm not good at that. I'm just not good at that. So I don't know. Merriweather Post has rooms full of Russian religious stuff. Oh, that's right. She was married to a diplomat. Imagine a good time for getting wealth out of the revolution. Yep. And again in 89. Yep. You watch the end of a spy video. His dad is just a badass. Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good to me. I don't know. But he does have one of those butt things. I don't know. He's got one of those butt icons. I don't know. Somebody check his butt. He's got the bad Russian butt plug. I'm kidding. But so I will do a space tonight, and of course I'll probably let everybody come up and say whatever they want, like I always do, because I have no spine. But I don't know. That's kind of what my hope is. I just want to create a space where we touch base with each other at the beginning of the week. We kind of set the tone. We just kind of chill. Nothing too serious. Obviously good time to share news and insights, but I also know the people that I want to hear insights from. I mean, not that I'm not open to new insights, but it's not a laboratory. You're very good at dealing with people on spaces. The problem sometimes is that people want to tell everyone the new stuff they just learned, but we've been screaming it for 3+ years. It kind of is that way it feels. That's kind of the way it feels. And not that they don't have their own, right to say what they want to say. I'm just thinking maybe you should just choose your own space and you should share that new information that you learned. And and I don't want it to become a big blame place where it's like, let's talk about these people and how fucked up they are. Unless it's chuds, I'm willing to talk about that, but more from a standpoint of media literacy than anything else. So anyway, I don't know. Some people oh my gosh, yeah, Spaces is notorious for that though. And I give a lot of grace to people repeating themselves because I feel like that's also a function of wanting to be heard and wanting to make sure your message gets out. So I have a lot of grace for that. So I understand. And there's certain people I'm willing to entertain more than others. Paul J, am I blocked? What do you mean? What happened? Paul J, where are you, Paul? I can't even see Paul. So yeah, it's interesting. Also, we're not organizers. Oh, that's okay. There's another thing. Thank you. And it turns into a whole call to action thing, which is great to know, but that's not what I do. So maybe it's a me problem. No, this is actually a me problem too, gal. You've actually hit the nail on the head. I'm not using that space to really organize because I am also not an organizer. I learned that a long time ago about myself and volunteers. That's not my strength. I'm not strong on organizing volunteer movements and things like that. I have different talents and other people have those talents. But I'm also just not interested in having the same conversation about messaging, the same conversation about what do we do, although that certainly comes up. And I think that's certainly important. I don't know. It's just that I think that now there are more limited spaces available on Twitter. I think that that's why people are finding spaces that are open so that they can express themselves, which is completely understandable. I know that I can't be all things to all people. That's really what I know. And I don't want to pretend that I can be because that's when I get into trouble and say, and overcompensate and all the stupid things that people do in this world called communication. So all that to say, there will be a space tonight. And we will yet again attempt to set a tone for this week. I'm prone to getting distracted. Yeah, if I tune in, it's because I want to hear people who know their shit. I mean, that's kind of it, Max, is that I'm not, You know, a lot of the spaces that we had in the past when Pam was around and all that, they became like big therapy sessions. And I'm sorry, I'm just not there. I'm not there. And I think it's great. Again, if people want that kind of space, I think that's a great idea to open a space. Because there is a lot of bonding that happens in that. And that's great. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. And I have always been very open about the fact that one of my primary goals in creating any kind of digital presence, in terms of shows or things like that, is that I want a place where Gals Research, Clayberg, Tina, Jay Rance, Jim, those are people I trust because I know them and I know their work. And I have confidence when they refer work to me that I know that work is going to be really well researched. So I do appreciate and I do intend for that time on Twitter, if I'm going to have like substantive discussions about what's happening, primarily those are the people I want to hear from. I'm certainly willing to learn from someone new, but we really haven't always had that happen when new folks come into the space. It just doesn't, it's just, that's just the odds, right? The odds are that more people are coming into the space to feel heard and be seen. And I appreciate that as well. I just don't know if I can always be, that person. And I want to be realistic about that. Otherwise, it just becomes a disappointing experience for everybody. And I don't want that to happen. Just saw that Elroy sued to block AI from becoming for profit. That's weird. I don't understand that. Why would he sue to prevent that? Need more gong. Yeah. You know what? I think I am going to go back. Remember the old days when I used to say, okay, I'm going to kind of hold you to about 2 minutes and then I'm going to ask you to land the plane or whatever the stupid metaphor is. I will do that. I'll start that tonight because that actually is really helpful. And I can give more time to people that, are people we want to hear from, like Gal, Jim, etc. But for people who are new to the group, I'll ask them to keep it to 2 minutes and then we'll see where we go. That actually might really help in terms of getting off the rails. I also noticed that some of the people coming in are affiliated with some of the stalker group. So I do look at that because I just want to know what I'm dealing with. And so I've been really gracious and not immediately counted someone out because of it. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to suffer any bullshit. I'm not suffering any of that. I'm not suffering any challenges. I'm just not. It's not my time. Open a space if you want to do that. Plenty of people do it, to open a space to talk about me or other people I know. But this is not your space. You don't get to take my space. This is my voice. And that's exactly what you're upset about. So go fuck yourselves. Anyway. All right. So thank you so much. This was a little longer, but I really appreciate you hanging in there. I know it's tough. So many are behind the curve. I know. And that's okay. That's what I want. I want that kind of, like, I thought we had a couple of great sessions too, especially Jim came and he talked about some, it was great. It was really great. So I appreciate that. And of course I need more gal. I want gal. I asked on Discord if you see a problematic follower on my Blue Sky, let you know. Yes, Oren, yes. Those behind the curve should listen more. Mansplain, yeah. Yeah. Listen with your ears. Anyway, thanks again for coming and spending so much time this morning with me. I hope it was good for your background or you got something out of it. And come back again tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Pacific, and we will have more Wake and Bake. Maybe some more Who knows what we'll have tomorrow? Yeah, we'll have great. I know. I can't wait, Lee. Please. Thank you so much. It's like starting over in 2016 again. Many don't know history. I know. Well, and there's just so much to know, right? There's so much, So anyway, all right. Have a great Monday. It's going to be okay. So hopefully some people are looking at time off soon. So I hope that counts for everyone in the chat and beyond. All right. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. And thanks for sharing the broadcast. I also really, really appreciate that so much. You don't even know. All right.